The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, once again, we are live. We're live a little bit later than I wanted to be. I was hoping that I'd be live a little bit earlier, but gosh darn it, we made it. I don't know why the picture looks all staticky, but bear with me. Let me see. Gosh darn it, we made it, man. We made it. And look, we got a good live plan for you guys today. I wanted to just touch on the whole Anthony Joshua Canelo situation. Apparently now he's been spotted in America. He went to Canelo's gym. Now people are saying that he might be training with Eddy Reynoso. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm not liking this picture. Y'all guys gotta bear with me. Y'all guys gotta bear with me. I'm not liking this picture. The internet's acting up. So hold on, man. I'm gonna go live. I'm gonna go live on my phone. So give me like 5 minutes. But yeah, man. Shout out to my guy Ordinary Pete. I see you, champ. What's up, Ordinary Pete? Shout out to the sponsors. What's up, Slugfest? He said he's in Kissimmee. Man, I love Kissimmee. Kissimmee is an amazing place, man. I love Kissimmee. Kissimmee, Florida. I was there for the Edgar Berlanga fight a couple months ago. That's where all the Puerto Rican girls are at. They got all the beautiful Puerto Rican girls. I thought I was damn near in Puerto Rico when I was in Kissimmee. So I trust me, man. I know a lot about Kissimmee, Florida. It's a lovely place. It's quiet. Not as nice as South Florida, but I like it. It's a cool little town. So I hope you're enjoying your stay in Florida. Hope everything's going good for you. Shout out to my guy Jesus Keen. And listen, when Keen is here, we gotta get a word from our sponsor. When Keen is here, we gotta get a word from our sponsor. So shout out to our unofficial sponsor, Drell Miller, Big Baby. Tell them who the sponsor is, champ. Tell them who it is.
Vienna sausage, cinnamon buns, Wonder Bread, Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar.
So there you have it. Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, give me a second, guys. I'm not liking this picture from I'm not liking this picture on my computer, so I want to make sure we get this shit right because this is a very important topic that we're documenting, and I want to make sure we get this right. I want to make sure we get this all the way right. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just bear with me. Make sure you smash the like button. Programming reminder: I will be live this weekend again for the Shakur Stevenson versus Jamel Herring fight. So make sure you guys stop by for that, man. Where the hell is this tripod at? Anyway, hold on, man. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so I'm back. I'm back. My bad, guys. My bad. I don't know what it is. You know, we out here in like the boondocks, and the internet sometimes is good, sometimes it's not so good. So I just wanted to make sure the picture was good because this is an important topic. We gotta make sure we document this properly. I don't want us to look all pixelated and stuff. So you know, if you're with me, I appreciate you for sticking with me. But we got Pops here now. Look, we had enough time for Pops to get here.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. You know, Pops. How you feeling today? You good?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. When it comes to talking Pops, I'm always good.
Yeah. How you feeling about today's topic?
Well, what's today about?
The topic is so Anthony Joshua apparently he's been spotted at the Eddy Reynoso Gym. And now there's all the speculation now that he's gonna switch trainers.
Well, he should have been doing that a long time ago. I've been saying that for a long time ago. He needs to make change. Sometimes change is good, and I think that if that's the case, I don't care who he actually trains with, but he needs to change. He needs to do something to break the same monotonous thing that he's doing because it's not actually working for him anymore. And maybe coming to the U.S., UK fighters are doing now, looking for trainers is probably the best thing for him.
Yeah.
So I agree with it. I think that if that's the case, everything's speculation, so I don't know how loyal he is to his team. Is he really going to do it? It's all speculations. It doesn't make it. But for me, I've been preaching that for quite a while.
Yeah. Now, shout out to Keen. Keen says Reynoso can't help AJ. Ruiz almost got knocked out by Chris Arreola under his tutelage. And look, well, I'm glad you said that because that kind of goes to what I'm thinking. You know, my dear friend, you know, Stacey McKinley, the former trainer of Samuel Peter, Alexander Povetkin, Mike Tyson, you know, just an expert at heavyweight boxing. He told me a long time ago, he said, Brennan, it doesn't matter how great a trainer is. Some trainers just can't train. Not every fighter can, not every trainer can train heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? So I think that applies to Reynoso. He's got some good heavyweights in his camp. Like he's got Frank Sanchez. He's got Ivan Disco now. Now you got what's his name? Andy Ruiz, like you mentioned. We saw that fight. Like he's trying to get Andy Ruiz to fight like a big Canelo, and I really feel like we didn't really see. That's why I'm telling Pops. You know, when Ruiz really steps up and has to fight someone, like really like a top guy, top 10 guy.
Yeah.
I think under Reynoso's watch, he's gonna get severely hurt because you can't be in there training a heavyweight to fight like a guy at middleweight. You know, in the heavyweight division, it's that one punch factor, and you can get hurt at any moment.
Yeah.
You know?
So if not Reynoso, anybody else in the U.S. would be good for Joshua. Simple as that.
Now he was also. I'm gonna get to everybody's comments. I know we got to kind of a weird start with the show because I kind of switched to my phone. But I appreciate everyone here. Make sure you smash the like button. Give me your thoughts. I'll definitely be getting everybody's thoughts.
I also like McQuiggan too, Brendan. If anybody in the UK I wish you went to, I wish you would go with McQuiggan.
That's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get to the people that I think will be better fits for Anthony Joshua as far as training is concerned. You know, and that's one of the names that I thought about. You know, Shane McGuigan. He's an aggressive coach.
Yeah.
He's a coach that, you know, you look at his track record. Shane McGuigan. He's trained Carl Frampton. He's trained Josh Taylor. I can't think of many heavyweights he's trained, so I might have to use the same principle with him. I don't know how he would do training a heavyweight like Anthony Joshua for a big fight like that, but he is an aggressive coach. He's right there in the UK.
That's right.
He's got a great reputation. So, you know, maybe McGuigan could be someone. I'm thinking of him. I was thinking maybe like Tony Sims. I'm thinking of British trainers first because, you know, that's his home base, UK.
Right.
So maybe Tony Sims. I like Tony Sims. I like
the way he does.
He does things. I like how he prepares his fighters. You know him. Anthony Mazzano. Here's a couple good shouts. Yeah. Teddy Atlas and Sugar Hill. Now look, I know pride might be a thing.
Right.
I know that you know Fury's his rival, but Fury did offer it. And one thing I know about Sugar Hill Stewart from personally seeing him train people in the gym is that Sugar Hill, he loves to teach. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a prospect. It doesn't matter to
kids.
To
do it.
You know,
any kind he adapts to, and he's got the personality to do it. And the biggest thing I like about him is very detail oriented. The small things that maybe other coaches don't see, Sugar Hill definitely picks up on it. And for him, just think about it. To even train somebody like Fury, like personality, the way Fury is, and the mentality and everything, it's not an easy thing to do, but he's learned to adapt to that. So I think he can adapt to anybody. I think he'd be perfect for Joshua.
What do you think? What do you think are the positives of Eddy Reynoso? Well, we can't be negative. We gotta get both. What are the positives? Look at Eddy Reynoso. What do you think?
Are you asking me that question? You know, I'm not really great. My favorite. I'm not. How you say? I don't support Eddy Reynoso.
No, we don't.
And that's not because I just don't think that he's right fit for him. I'll leave it at that. But just the fact that Josh is trying to looking outside the window or outside the box and trying to explore, I think it's a great thing. What other the trainers in the U.S. that have experience with heavyweights?
Oh man,
have experience.
Usam. Shout out to my guy Usam, the Fedway killer from Montreal. Here's a great like. This would be just ironic. Imagine this shit. Mark Breland.
Oh shit!
What do you think about Mark Breland?
Yeah, I just followed him. I just went and followed him on Instagram.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what?
What about that fit?
That would be a great fit. Just his personality, the way he presents himself. I don't know how this trait, but I'm saying what the energy I see, the way he is, would probably be a great fit for Joshua. That's another call. Yeah, I can go for that.
So Mark Breland?
I like that.
Is that what you're going with?
I would go.
American trainer, heavyweight pedigree, knows how to implement boxing skills, and he was an aggressive fighter.
Yeah.
He helped. He played a big role in producing Deontay Wilder into a world champion, which a lot of people
and saved his life.
Saved his damn life. So he's not just a good trainer. He'll look out for you if you get your ass punished.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. Him, Stacey McCain, like we just talked about. Who else is out here in the U.S. that's really good? There's a whole bunch down here.
John David Jackson.
Yeah, Don David. I don't think you should go Virgil Hunter.
No,
the motivation bullshit. And you got a shark in the tank, and you got all this shit. Won't work with him. You want a coach that fits his personality and knows how to deal with you. And I think name probably if you guys got anyone in mind, whether it's in the UK, whatever, call it out.
Now Hyro says, I think it's just an Instagram photo. This is like taking a picture with Drake. It means nothing. Yeah, I could definitely see that, but it's life's all about timing, Hyro. So it's not so much that he's in the gym. It's the timing of it.
Yeah.
It's the timing that, he just lost to Usyk. There's about a new trainer. Anthony Joshua not stupid. He's a very smart guy. He's very self-aware. He knows that when he goes to that gym and pick and start the search, people are going to speculate like we're doing here.
Yeah, he was, even in the UK, they talked on Instagram today that he was practicing punches with some other guy in a restaurant or something. I guess he went to the hood. Something about him going to the hood and going to the back to his environment to get trainers like that to learn how to fight and this and that. So you could tell that he's actually searching for something. Sometimes actions speak louder than words. A picture has 1,000 things.
MB makes a great point that I forgot about.
Yeah.
So you mentioned McGuigan earlier. Yeah. I completely forgot that McGuigan's not training Dubois. I keep forgetting about that.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Training Dubois. So that'd be a good. I feel like for me, if let's just assume, because we don't really know. At the end of the day, I'm just speculating. I'm just making this because I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
I woke up today, Anthony Joshua in the Canelo gym. He's got the no boxing, no life hat on. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
If he is gonna, we won't even assume that he's get rid of. Let's just say he's loyal to McCracken and he keeps someone around and he's gonna add to the team and gets a new direction. I think the best so far the coach, apart from Sugar Hill, because Sugar Hill is right. We won't say Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill is obviously the best trainer, but he's a rival, so we'll assume he won't go there. Right. I think the two best options that we've heard so far have been McGuigan from the UK because he's got Dubois, got a track record as an aggressive coach, and Mark Breland. Yeah. Mark Breland, that would be amazing. I think Mark Breland, because Mark Breland doesn't really have any fighters right now. Mark Breland obviously knows how to teach fight box, but you gotta have. I feel like with AJ, right? If AJ were to get with Breland will be getting from AJ what Wilder didn't have, which was being teachable. I think AJ wants. Yeah. I think AJ is looking for the right guidance, but
I think to make him better. Basically.
Yeah, I feel like he's more teachable.
Yep. I agree 100% on that one.
Now John, he's been very, very adamant. He says Pops is greater than BT.
Thank you, man. respect.
That's not a disrespect to me at all. I'm okay with that. Would Sugar Hill turn down AJ? I don't think he would at all. Like I said, I think Sugar Hill is very passionate about teaching fighters. If AJ actually reached out to him, I see why he would. Why he wouldn't do it. I think Fury's so confident in his skills and his ability that he's not going to feel threatened by AJ, even if he works in Sugar Hill. So,
and if Fury wants to offer him to help, he did say that, right? That's better. I mean, yeah, they're rivals, but it's only to make each boxer better. I think, like BT just said, the Fury got, I don't think it'd be an issue with that.
Oh, here's a good shout. See, Usam is dropping all the names. He says Jonathan Banks worked with GGG and worked with Klitschko too. We know how AJ admires Vlad. That's a great point. You know, AJ was one of the many fighters, because I feel like every heavyweight in the top 10 today at some point was in the Klitschko camp.
Yeah.
AJ sparred with Klitschko, so I'm sure AJ knows him to a point. He did get a chance to work with Vladimir towards the end of his title reign. We'll see. That with Jonathan Banks. I'm not mad at that one. But for me, so far, the ones I've heard I like the most are Breland. Yeah. Definitely Breland. And because I feel like Breland don't really got no big fighters like that.
No.
And Breland could give a lot to AJ. A lot.
Definitely.
You know, not for nothing. You know, Stacey McKinley.
I like him a lot.
We've been interviewing Stacey McKinley about Joshua for years, and I've asked him many times on camera and off camera, would you ever be one to work with Joshua? And he said he'd love to work with Joshua.
He said one last week when you went, which was recently, he said he even tried to email what's his name, Eddy Hearns.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's tried to reach out to Josh in so many ways. He hasn't gotten a response, but I think McKinley would be a perfect fit too.
Yeah, because he's an experienced trainer. He's trained, obviously, Tyson towards the end of Tyson's career. Povetkin he had for a fight, and then he also helped make Samuel Peter into a world champion. So he's an experienced trainer. He knows way about the game. He understands the psychology of heavyweight boxing, because heavyweight boxing honestly could be its own sport. Yes, and you got to understand the psychology of heavyweight boxing. And a lot of these trainers, they might be good on the pads, they might be good at formulating game plans, they might be good at a lot of things on the training these fighters, but they don't properly understand the psychology of heavyweight boxing. So when they get in the ring with their fighters suffer the most because of this. But Anthony Mazzano, shout out to him. He says, honestly, for me, I think the best trainers for Joshua, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's Robert Garcia, Freddie Roach, or Virgil Hunter. You trying to get Anthony Joshua sparked, Anthony?
Hell no.
You trying to get AJ sparked, Anthony? Did you see when Virgil Hunter trained Dominic Brazil? Lest we forget what happened to Dominic Brazil. I'll never forget this, Pops. At the Wilder Brazil press conference, Brazil strolling in, right, with Virgil Hunter, right? He's like, yeah, you know, I'm breaking news right now. What Virgil Hunter, you know, I was keeping it on the low. Like he made it seem like he was doing something, right?
Right.
All just to get knocked out in like less than 2 minutes. Deontay Wilder. Wilder just said, shoot. So listen, I don't think Virgil Hunter is the answer. You see, Virgil Hunter's working with Tony Oka, and Tony Oka still thinks he's in the Olympics. He still thinks he's in France. So I respect your opinion, but I don't agree with that. Robert Garcia, pressure fighter, a trainer that trains fighters to fight one style. Good trainer for a certain style. Not sure if it's the right fit. Robert Garcia don't really have the most experience training heavyweights. Freddie Roach, he was actually in the corner. He was the assistant trainer for the first Tyson Fury fight. Right. And he said he told Ben Davison that Fury should have been more aggressive in the first fight.
Yeah. So I mean.
And then you saw Fury in the second fight. He got Sugar Hill. So
I mean, at the end of the day, out of all those, if anybody, I think I would agree with him. I like Freddie Roach, but I just don't think those are the right fit. I personally think that Joshua will probably most likely, like you said, man, probably look towards home to the UK. That's where it's hard for him to leave. But I think that he's probably will go. But if he doesn't, I hope you're watching this, Joshua, or somebody knows Joshua. Let him. True School Sports only speaks the truth out here. He calls it out the way they see it. And if you guys have any trainers, let us know too. But I honestly think Joshua to learn. He's trying. He doesn't care which trainer. I'm saying, as long as they make him a better fighter and put more things in the toolbox.
All right, let me ask you this, Pops. Do you think it really matters who the fuck trains Joshua for the Usyk rematch? Like, do you think this could be one of those things where a fighter. Usyk might just have his number.
I think I still feel that Usyk will still have a number, but I guess it doesn't matter what kind of training you have, because it all becomes a mental training needs to put that stuff in still mentally, not just physically in the ring to your fighter. And if you don't have a trainer that doesn't know how to instill the mental fortitude and the skills and everything besides that, to tell Joshua, hey, you need to overcome this, and you will overcome this, it's a big difference. But if you got a motherfucker that's telling you about some shark in the ocean, about being a fisherman and being some shit, that got nothing to do with fucking boxing.
Not a damn thing.
Okay? And it's funny, we were talking about, everywhere we go, we went to last night, we were talking about training, the same thing. You need trainers to give you the mental strength, and that's why Fury got a Sugar Hill, because of he's always been strong, but because you gotta have that when you're down and out. But if you have a trainer that's telling you all this other bullshit, there's a fire, you gotta get a hose to put the fire out so everything be okay, and now you're fighting in the ring in the middle of the fire, and no, all that shit don't matter. You gotta have a coach, and that's one of the things that I even said about Wilder. And not to change subject, but Wilder needed a coach that to get to him, intimidate him, not him intimidate him. But somehow, God bless him, at least he got through him and he helped him out and everything. But you need that type of trainer that can give you the mental fortitude. So, yes, it's a big thing. Especially now, I go fighting Usyk for the second time. It's even more important that he's mentally just as strong to realize, yes, I lost the first one, forget about that. Let me go in the ring and do this.
Yeah. Now, the truth makes a great point. This is why I could see Anthony Joshua joining Eddy Reynoso is very problematic. I'm talking about this could be very problematic if he does decide to go through with this. Yeah. He said AJ will take a long time to adapt to Reynoso because of the cultural differences.
That could be.
I mean, he can't listen. He can't even speak English that well. And then Joshua, he's English. So that's like a whole different dialect that you have to get used to. So I can see that being problematic, and I don't think they want to go down that route. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's gonna either hire a American trainer or hire someone back home in the UK. Those are the only two options. I don't think Reynoso's. But look, I'll tell you this: if he does it, what a story! I really feel like if Reynoso trains Anthony Joshua for the Usyk rematch, and could actually change his style. Not change his style, but tweak some things and get him to win. That would be a great challenge for Reynoso because Anthony Joshua really hasn't fought many southpaws in his career. The only southpaw he at this level that he fought that was like really, really good was not really, really good, but was champion was Charles Martin. But he doesn't have experience fighting southpaw. So seeing how Reynoso works with Joshua to get over the language barrier, then to formulate the game plan, then to tweak his style, that would be very interesting to watch.
Pedro Diaz, he don't speak that much English, but he got some heavyweights that. He got experience.
I mentioned him. I shot a video that I'm gonna drop later on this. I mentioned Pedro Diaz. He speaks English.
But he knows how to go around all that.
He's very. I mean, he's trained Chinese fighters, Croatian fighters, Cuban fighters, American fighters, and he gets through to them. Yeah.
So I mean,
he's got Herbert in camp.
Yeah.
Who would be great sparring for AJ. So maybe that.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I just want my whole thing. You got to make a change at some point, whether you do it or not. And if you're just stubbornness and you listen to all the yes men, and you're in trouble. Yeah. You got to do something mentally.
Slotello is making the point. A lot of people in the chat. And by the way, shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Super chat, all that good stuff. Listen, Slotello makes a great point because a lot of people in the chat are saying that, Sugar Hill doesn't need Anthony Joshua because he's got all that Tyson Fury money. Well, look, listen. I don't know if y'all know this. Now, I don't know if the agreement between Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill is different than any trainers, but traditionally speaking, most trainers only make 10% what the fighter makes. I don't know if Fury made his last fight, but maybe one of y'all can tell me, but Sugar Hill only probably got 10% of his purse. So for you guys to say that he's got too much money on an AJ bag, listen, I love Tyson Fury, he's my favorite heavyweight, but he ain't making Anthony Joshua money. Anthony Joshua, when he fought with Reeves, he was getting that oil well money. He was getting that Arab money. He was getting 88 million plus. So you do the math. 10%. What's 10% of 88 million? That's a lot of money. Yeah. That's a career high payday for Sugar Hill. So there's no way in hell you could tell me Sugar Hill still wouldn't give it some consideration. Plus, I don't think Tyson Fury really cares about if AJ trains Sugar Hill because I feel like Tyson Fury reached a level to where he doesn't
he accepts where he's at and he doesn't care who comes to the table, whether it's on his level or not. He knows he's the best heavyweight. He's confident in himself, and he's not going to let that get in the way. Not to cut you off either. I want to say one more thing. People could say that about the comment would say about money. It's not even about that. It's about building your own resume, your own legacy as a trainer. And I think that would benefit Sugar Hill if he was to train Joshua, put it on his resume and say I made him a better fighter, so forth. So it's not all about money. It's about your legacy also.
You know, shout out to Michael Ryan. He says, BT, I believe that you are superhuman. You are everywhere and you never sleep. That's. I would definitely say that that's an illusion. I'm very organized with how I work these days. In fact, I slept all day today, like because I've had a long week. I haven't really slept much the whole week. I literally slept the whole day. About 15 hours of sleep, so I'm wired up. I'm ready to go. But yeah, we're working very hard to give you guys great content, you know. And listen, October the 26th, I'll be leaving for Las Vegas. October the 30th, John Ennis is fighting Thomas Deloney while I'm in Vegas. I'll probably be at that fight, so expect the first of a couple fight night vlogs. Also, I'm gonna drop some news here on True School Sports, and then we'll get to the comments and continue with our topic. There will be a live fight reaction for Canelo versus Plant, and I can confirm that on that live fight reaction, I mean, Pop should be on it as well. Yeah. But we're gonna have former 122-pound champion, my good friend Miguel Leo, on the live for the Canelo Caleb Plant live fight reaction. So yeah, look, for those of you who are here for the Josh Taylor Jose Ramirez live fight reaction, we actually had Angelo Leo on for that one. We'll have him on again, you guys know, in advance. So it should be a great time.
Yeah, definitely. It's only going to get better. My thing is, I hope when you go to that Jordan Ennis thing, you get an interview with him. I want you to get an interview with him.
With Jordan Ennis?
Yes,
absolutely.
Put him on the channel. But
in actuality, yeah, I don't think that Anthony Joshua will be training with Sugar Hill. Somebody made a great point. Who was it? I saw a comment from someone.
What did they say?
It was about Peter Fury. Basically, what wound up happening was Peter Fury or Peter Fury started working with David Haye when David Haye was rival with Tyson Fury.
Right.
And now that's one of the reasons why Tyson Fury doesn't speak to Peter Fury anymore. Because so he's saying based on past history, we can expect Anthony Joshua to be with Sugar Hill, no matter what Tyson Fury says.
That's okay. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, you putting us on game. We don't know all that.
I mean, I knew that, but it wasn't a point that I really considered.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
I can't find that comment. I don't even know where it's at.
What was the comment about? What did it say? What was it about?
It just mentioned Peter Fury. It mentioned Peter Fury. Now here's a name that wasn't mentioned. What do you think about this?
Mm-hmm.
Derek James. You think Derek James could be a good guy for AJ? I mean, he don't have a lot of experience training heavyweights per se. But
he can make some fighters.
He makes fighters. Like we know with James, he keeps things very simple, and he knows come hell or high water. A Derek James trained fighter, you know, these guys come prepared and they come to fight, whether they win, lose, or draw.
And he's basically, if you know some of the things that we're talking about, they'll have more similar personalities, how they teach the fighters and how they talk to the fighters. Derek James is low key, knows how to get his things across. Mm-hmm. Knows he has his things in place, and he has a record to do that also. So that would be a great one too.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just can't listen to a fucking motivator. If I want to motivate people, I go hire one.
Here it is. Usam brought it up. He said Tyson Fury doesn't speak with his Uncle Peter anymore because he started working with David Haye when he was out the ring.
Wow.
So yeah, when Fury wasn't active anymore, Peter started with Haye. Fury felt that way about it.
Right.
So look. He's right. He's actually right.
We're bringing static.
And Fury, listen. And Fury, he's a fighter, Pops. And what have I told you about the personality of most of these fighters? No boxing. Yeah, they're very emotional. Yeah. One day they feel one way, the next day they feel another way. So you know, he may say, "Oh, it's cool, I'll train you now," but if it actually happened, he'll probably change his tune. So, great point. Now, for those of you wondering, did AJ split around McCracken? No, he hasn't. The only reason I'm making this video is because Anthony Joshua has been in America. He was spotted in the Canelo gym taking pictures with Ronald Ellis. Then he went on Twitter or his Instagram story, and he posted a picture with a no boxing, no life hat on. So, you know, I figured it'd be interesting to talk about. I wanted to go live today and know what to talk about. So this is the topic for today.
That and we did talk about Mikey Garcia. That's old, but we what's happening with Mikey Garcia? Is he gonna hit?
I don't know. We'll get to him later on. We'll get to him later on, but I want to get to this comment from Anthony. Anthony says, BT, with the amount of streams you do, man, I feel like you're drinking whole pallets of energy drinks to keep yourself awake. Now, Pops sees me frequently.
No.
When was the last time you saw me touch an energy drink?
No, he's a health freak, believe it or not. He drinks more water.
Hey, look, you see what I got at all times.
And he drinks a lot of water, coconut water.
I rest when I gotta rest.
He's got believe me, he's got his pattern. Just like when you have those big, like this week was crazy because one of the reasons we have to move close to where our gyms are, where we live is like way far, and it takes a lot of energy from us and far away. I mean, but that's no excuse. But
We get it done. We
have long days.
We get it done regardless.
He has long days than me because I think my day is done with just helping him. We go to the gym to do all this stuff. He's got to come home and spend another 10, 20 hours editing everything, do it himself. So it's he's got to grind, believe it or not.
But listen,
he finds the time to sleep.
I found my time to sleep, and I chose to cover boxing full time a couple years ago. I left my job at Publix to do this.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the smoothest ride, but it's been a very fruitful, rewarding ride along the way, and I met a lot of great people like yourself. So yeah, man,
and getting it done. And it's a motivation for him. We were out last night, and people were questioning him how he survives. Is this all he does? And this and that, and why you only do this, and why you don't have 5 jobs, or 10 is that. And he's blessed sort of way. He's surviving, but it hasn't been. He's grinding to do it not for himself, but for you guys that are here tonight when I'm talking to him. That's the thing.
We surviving. We're not just surviving. We're also thriving. We're not just surviving. We're thriving.
Yeah.
We don't live life just to survive. We also have to live life to thrive. And I by the grace of the good man upstairs, we're definitely thriving.
Yeah.
But the Truth asked a great question. He says, I've always wondered this. I've always wondered this. If you were a trainer and your boxer tests positive, but you didn't know they took PEDs, would you have their back or expose it and drop the fighter? Well, it's interesting because, Reynoso, I'll use Reynoso as an example because he's under a lot of scrutiny. He said, that's pretty much what he said. He said, look, I train these guys when they're in the gym, and I don't really know what they do outside the gym. Now, you can choose to believe him or not believe him. That's your prerogative, but every trainer handles that situation differently.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm a firm believer that doing wrong is not right, but at the same time, what happens in my house stays in my house. What I mean by that is, if you are loyal, I'm going back to the Reynoso thing. If you're loyal to your fighters, and you're using that, and they're going some stuff, and they got busted or whatever, and you have no control of it, but you're media. Prime example, Oscar Valdez. You're not just gonna sit there and grab in your mouth and that's it. You're supposed to support that guy no matter what. Even Canelo, that we don't really like at his channel, he had enough balls and talked to us, Oscar Valdez, and told me, listen, I went through your shit, I went through everything, and he spoke up in the media. But Reynoso didn't. So when you silence yourself, it shows 2 bad things about you. You're not really supposed to fight that you shoot in the bad and the good, and it shows me that you're guilty about something.
Absolutely.
I'm speculation. That's not what I'm saying that what it is, but that's by your action. Speak louder.
I mean, look, man. I'll tell you guys that now. I know this guy isn't like I wouldn't say he's like the most experienced trainer in the world. He's not even really a trainer because, well, I'll get to that in a second. But like this guy I'm about to mention was a fighter. He does come from that Eddie Futch lineage. He was a fighter under Eddie Futch, and I've actually interviewed this fighter many times about Anthony Joshua. And I actually asked him a couple years ago after the first release if he would actually help Anthony Joshua. And he said yes. The video's on the channel. And I'm pretty sure the offer still stands. And that fighter is Riddick Bowe. Why not get Riddick Bowe to come give you some pointers? I'll tell you this. Now I'm not Anthony Joshua. I'm not him in boxing, but I trained at the heavyweight factory for like months, a couple months. And Riddick Bowe was there every day telling me things and giving me pointers about boxing. And I learned so much about boxing. Like there were times where I would talk to Riddick Bowe about boxing and I would feel like I didn't know anything about boxing. Right. And it was great because I felt like every day there was something new. And I feel like the same thing could apply to Anthony Joshua. I feel like maybe not as a trainer, but maybe you can get Riddick Bowe in the camp as like an advisor, and you can stay with McCracken, and maybe that could work. There's options out there for AJ. He's well respected.
Yeah, I mean he's got it. I mean back talking about Riddick Bowe, Klitschko was training at gym also. So there was another champion that also was with just Josh when after they became good friends and everything. Like you was saying earlier, could help him out. But I think having a heavyweight that knows the ins and out. And not be people shouldn't be critical of Bowe about him being punch drunk and being stupid and dumb. No, I'm just saying people are gonna say all this other stuff, but the reality is these fighters know they didn't become champions because they just did not listen or whatever the case may be. They know boxing, they would help Joshua in certain situations. So having Bo, or even having a Holyfield advisor, or somebody that's been up in the heavyweight ranks that knows, even to help an inexperienced trainer that doesn't know, that haven't really trained heavyweights, but to have them around and have them advising.
Absolutely. Now, shout out to my guy, Pamarumi says, don't ever accuse BT of caffeine, performance, energy enhancer. He is clean. Pops verified it. Yeah, man, I ain't no damn Oscar Valdez. I'm a clean fighter like Robinson Conceicao.
Yeah.
I'm clean. So,
Clear as can be. You don't do nothing. Don't drink, nothing.
Sometimes, I mean, there's been times where he thought I was kind of weird. Yeah. Some people think I'm weird because I'm just simple, man. I cover the boxing.
He stuck to his values.
I stick to my values. I go see my friends. I work out, here and there, and that's what it is. What it is. I have my ways. Other people have theirs. I don't criticize somebody how they live their life. How they live their life. Now, Anthony asked, BT, if Emmanuel still was alive, do you think Anthony Joshua would have benefited from having him as a trainer?
Oh my God.
Yes. Emmanuel Stewart is a Kronk. He was the Kronk, not a Kronk trainer. He's the Kronk trainer. And when we know about Kronk fighters, it's a very aggressive style. It's a style where traditionally speaking, a Kronk style is a power jab, a really stiff straight right hand, and a precise left hook, and coming forward and doing it in a way for the fight. I feel like Anthony Joshua and Emmanuel Stewart would have been made for each other. I think it would have been beautiful. And
I'm sure there's other famous British trainers that I think one recently just died a few years ago that was very well known in the British in the UK that Josh probably would have gone, but that's in the past. We can't dwell on what these great trainers that already gone with Dios to heaven, or what could have been.
Now a lot of people are saying that Joshua should go the Ben Davison route. Now Usam. That's why I like Usam, man. From my graduate from Montreal, Canada. He knows about boxing. He said that Ben Davison isn't made to train heavyweights, and he said he said what I've been saying about Ben Davison. He said Ben Davison has did a great job to train and motivate Tyson Fury back to boxing, but the way he trained Fury was all wrong. I don't like his minimum risk approach.
Wow.
Especially at heavyweight.
What you saying, like as far as like holding on back?
Well, like if you go back and you watch the first fight,
right?
Every time he gave the same instructions for all 12 rounds, no matter what happened.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he told Tyson Fury, throw the jab and don't get greedy. That was literally his instructions for the whole 12 rounds. Wilder hit him with a right hand and put him on his ass. Use the jab and don't get greedy. That was his instructions the whole 12 rounds. That's why Fury, being the intelligent man he is, thank God he switched to Sugar Hill Stewart, because Sugar Hill Stewart then made him to fight the way he made him to fight, and the way he should be fighting at heavyweight.
Yeah. Well, I agree with what he said. Yeah, Ben Davis, don't get me wrong, he's come up from the top, and from the bottom up, and he's done his thing, he's been successful. Now he's got Josh Taylor, right? No,
yeah, no, he did get Josh Taylor. Look, I feel like last fight.
Who got, but he's got
Josh Taylor, Lee Wood.
Yeah, he just trained. He's made to train fighters, but when you have a trainer to tell you to like you just told me,
don't get greedy.
Just throw the jab and don't get greedy. What that mean?
That basically means
I'm just saying you want to get pounded up and hit the other guy be greedy, throw fire at me, but I'm just supposed to just jab my way through the whole fight.
Yeah.
No, that's not fair.
Baki Hamna says, how many hours do you train, bro? A day. Well, right now, normally I'm keeping when I do train. I mean, I'll be honest with you, because of YouTube and because of all the content and me going to this gym, that gym, I have a very sporadic schedule. So I kind of just every day is different with me. No 2 days are the same with me. So I kind of just I don't even know what time I'm gonna train most of the time. But when I do train, like right now, I'm just keeping it simple, maybe an hour and a half, 2. That's really it. Nothing too crazy right now. But like back when the last time I could really say I was really training like hard consistently was probably like the summer of 2019. I was in dog shape. I mean, if you go back and watch my videos, my face looks skinnier.
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a faded six-pack going on. I had my shit right into it.
Not your shit right, it's because everything changes and your work schedule with like I was telling you, he's a one-man team. He edits everything, he does everything. I'm so OG, I'm fucking dial you, not gonna call you. I'm dead serious when I say that. So I wish I knew how to edit and do things to help him.
Wow.
But he got sense for what?
Usam, man. Usam.
On it again?
I didn't even think about this one. I didn't think about this one, but this is a good one. He said Antonio Tarver would be a great trainer for AJ. He's a southpaw who has great knowledge about boxing, and he offered to train Wilder after the first Wilder 3. And look, Antonio Tarver, the Magic Man, he's getting into training. I never met him, but I know what's going on in his life. Like I know right now, Antonio Tarver, he's in Tampa, and there's this new promotional company called Signature Punch Promotions, and they got a state-of-the-art facility in Tampa. And I'm sure Tarver would go to the gym every day and be there with AJ if he wanted to. But now you said Tarver, I just got a name. A name just popped in my head, and I think that I actually think this guy right here, this would be my guy. Like for my money, now that he's popped into my head, forget all the other names you mentioned. This is my guy heavyweight. You know him. You met him too.
I met him?
You've met him. He's here in South Florida. You've met him.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna let you guys even try to figure it out. This guy that I'm about to name, he was at one point in time, he was named trainer of the year. Now I'm not gonna tell you what year or how long ago it was, but he was trainer of the year, and he's still an active trainer.
In Florida.
And he's in Florida. South Florida. He's got a gym in Miami.
Oh, you're talking about what's the name? Fifth Street, right?
Nope. Any guesses? Now, Jairo said Chiro Perez. Nope, it's not Chiro Perez.
Come on.
It's not Chiro Perez.
I don't remember who he is. That's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, what up? Wait.
Orlando Cuellar. I think Orlando Cuellar will be. It's not Derek Santos, but yeah, Howard, you got it on the third guess. Orlando Cuellar.
Yeah,
I think Orlando Cuellar would be a great trainer for Anthony Joshua for a couple of reasons. Number one, Orlando Cuellar has been training fighters for like
long age,
20, 30 years.
Yeah.
He's been in big fights. He's responsible for Glenn Johnson knocking the fuck out of Roy Jones. He was a trainer of the year 2004. He actually trained Antonio Tarver towards the latter stages of his career, so he's got experience in training heavyweights. He trains heavyweights in boxing. He trains heavyweights in bare knuckle. He's trained heavyweights plenty of times in his career. So he's not going to be the job won't be too big for him. He's a guy that again, I would say he's an aggressive coach, but he's very much about conditioning.
Yeah,
I feel like because I've been to his gym and I've sparred at his gym. I've sparred some of his fighters, and I've done some of the workouts with him. And I'll tell you this: one thing I can't say about Orlando Cuellar is he's going to have any fighter he trains prepared. Yeah. No matter what skill level they're at, they're going to be prepared. So I would like him to be trained. And Cuellar is he's got this personality about him to where he can get through to you and he can motivate you. Yeah, because he's like a very motivational guy. So he's got the right amount of technical savvy with boxing, but he also has the right time for AJ. So that's my guy right there.
Very old school, man. When I seen how they train, what they do, how they run up this and do that,
Jairo said, isn't that to do with the ring in his backyard?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Very old school. Like he's the nicest guy though, but that guy will train you the right way. He'll give you motivation, but you're gonna fucking work in that gym. So
that's my guy. I don't want everybody else is good. But I just feel like there's too many questions about everybody else. Like some guys are great trainers, but they don't have the heavyweight experience. Yeah. Some guys are great trainers, but they may not have the personality to get through the AJ the way they need to. Yeah. So that's my guy right there. For my money, for my money and my money only, Orlando Cuellar. Yeah. If I'm Anthony Joshua, listen, AJ team, AJ boxing. I have his number. If y'all want to get in touch with him, get in touch with me, and I'll get you in touch with him because he's got experience. I'm only saying his name because when Usam said Tarver, I thought to myself, well, Tarver was trained by Cuellar.
Yeah, but Tarver will be good too.
But Tarver will be good. But
I
need someone a bit. For a fight like this, I need someone a bit more experienced. Yeah. As a trainer, he was experienced fighter, but I need someone more experienced as a trainer. So that's the name we're going with. We're going with that name. We don't want to hear about Reynoso. McGregor would be cool, but no, not McGregor. Cuellar. Yeah, and then Jairo says, here's the video of Orlando Cuellar training Denzel Curry, the rapper. Yeah, if y'all want to know what he's like, he's very motivational. So I would suggest you click on that video. You can kind of get an idea from that video what kind of how he'll talk to JJ in the corner, and you get an idea. Like I can tell you from firsthand experience, he's gonna have it here, straight up. I don't even think it's even a point about the Lennox AJ duo because first Lennox didn't show any interest to train fighters, and secondly, I don't even think AJ is looking for a trainer like that. He may not be that. That's why I'm saying in this video, we're speculating, you know, because I know we're not the only one speculating. Everyone's speculating now. Yeah, he hasn't fired McCracken. Let's talk about McCracken for a second, okay? Because Robert McCracken's been with him from the beginning, from the Olympics to the pros to being a prospect to a contender to a champion to a unified champion. He was there when he lost. He's here when he loses again. Pops, do you think Anthony Joshua has a snowball's chance in hell at beating Usyk if he keeps McCracken?
No.
No.
I've been saying it from the first. I've seen it when he had him before in the corner. I said for this fight, I mean, he had no reaction to really how Joshua lost his last fight. He was just like, yeah, we're just gonna make some corrections. No shit, motherfucker. You gotta get out of there. You gotta go. I mean, no matter whether he stays or goes, he's still gonna have a thing in Joshua's heart because he played a big part in Joshua's career for where Joshua's at. So you can't never take that away from him. But you gotta sometimes grab your ball and make a change whether you like it or not. You gotta make the move. So for me, I've been saying it for a while, and it's time for him to go.
Now look, I've never met Robert McCracken, and I never seen him train in the gym, but I have met his brother. For those of you who don't know, in 2019 when I went to the UK, I did meet Robert McCracken's brother Max. And listen, I love Max McCracken, friend of the channel. You know, he invited me to his gym, let me do whatever I wanted pretty much in the gym. So I got the utmost respect for Max McCracken and the McCracken family. They're known names in British boxing, but Max McCracken and Robert McCracken don't train their fighters much differently. They don't. So I already know what Anthony Joshua's gonna do in camp for the most part if he goes back to Robert McCracken. You know, it's not gonna be much of what we've seen. So I really feel like he does need to make a change. And look, I'm gonna piggyback off what Stacey McKinley said. I don't think Anthony Joshua has to fire McCracken, but bring some help. Get some help. You know, work together because, like Stacey would say, working together works.
Yeah. So true. I mean, he just got to do something better. He's not going to beat Usyk the way he came in the last fight. And for me, it starts with the mental and his mind. Let him know, like, you know, okay, you accepted that. You say you're going to do things better, but you got to. This is what we got to do. You got to come out and punch. You got to come out. You got to get somebody that's going to destroy him. And I don't think McCracken's the right one. See him lose when he lost the first fight, and then now it's going to Usyk and this, he's just sitting there, and you got a trainer that said we just got to make improvements. The fuck that tells me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Your boy BT, we got Pops, you know, live during spooky hours. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and get trigger happy with them if you want.
Simplify, baby. Simplify is coming this week. Simplify.
Oh yeah, Jamel Herring, Shakur Stevenson this weekend coming up.
Yeah.
I know Pops is very excited about it. He's of this mindset. He's on the Jamel. He's buying in. He's on the Jamel Herring. He's on the Jamel Herring bandwagon. But listen, man, you're gonna find out that Shakur Stevenson's the real deal. Hey, you know what I saw today on Instagram?
No.
I don't know if y'all saw this today, but apparently Stevenson got that girlfriend he got, the Instagram model. Apparently he got her pregnant.
He gonna be a father?
He gonna be a father.
He gonna grow up.
So now he's like, now he's in one of those fighters that says, I fight for my family.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Hey, them girls, boy. They trap you up real quick.
Yeah. What do you think about Buddy McGirt?
Oh man, Jesus. Has he training heavyweights? I haven't seen his resume.
Heavyweights. He trained. Has Buddy McGirt trained heavyweights?
Well, he's training Colin Smith, and he's changed. You see a change in Colin Smith already. So, I would prefer a trainer that has experience with heavyweights, but it doesn't mean that you take that away from anybody like McGirt. He's very experienced himself too. You can see the difference in McCallum. No, McCallum's not a heavyweight, but hey, you can see he changed about others, so I think he can do that too.
Now, Anthony wants to know, BT, do you guys think the relationship between Lennox Lewis and AJ is too far beyond repair to where Lennox can come in during his training camps for his upcoming fights to help him train? I think it's ridiculously beyond repair.
They still hate each other that much?
Lennox don't like AJ. AJ don't like Lennox. So
no, it's not Lennox.
Lennox.
Yes.
Lennox doesn't like AJ. AJ does not like Lennox. So, okay. Now, Hyro's been asking this question a lot. He wants to know about Manny Robles, former trainer of Andy Ruiz, the current trainer of Charles Martin.
Right.
What do you think about him?
He's okay, but I just nah.
I'll be honest. I'm glad we did this live because I think I just figured out who I want Anthony Joshua to train. I don't know how we can make this happen. Maybe I gotta go down Cuellar's gym and ask him and do an interview with him. Maybe that's when we can put it out there. But like, and get more
Listen,
get more background
Eddie
on who
Hearn,
he's trained with.
The problem is, I'm quite sure that Eddie Hearn's got a lot of requests. Just like Stacey McKinley that come out and said that, hey, you know what? If you all know, Stacey McKinley's been already told he trained Mike Tyson, he trained
Samuel Peter,
Peter,
Povetkin.
been around a couple of questions, and he's emailed Eddie Hearn many times. So if Cuellar does the same thing, he ain't gonna make Eddie. Fucking Eddie Hearn's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants. That's what it comes down to. So it's not getting to Eddie Hearn. It's how to get in touch with Anthony Joshua and have him. You know what I mean? Because if you get to the promoters, that's the problem a lot of times. A lot of careers are being fucked up by the promoters because the promoters only care about themselves and don't worry about nothing else.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
Yeah, having a video with him would be great. But then again, you don't know if he wants to do all that. You know,
He even talking about it on Instagram.
Did he?
Saying,
yeah.
Anthony Joshua need me in his corner.
He loves Brendan. He loves Brendan. That's Brendan's favorite trainer. Brendan, pick up the boxing, he's gonna be my trainer.
Yeah, I said if I ever started boxing for real, there's only 2 guys that I would consider.
And Brendan knows a lot of trainers. I'm like, when he told me quit, I said, what?
Yeah.
He said, Dad, you just don't know. Something about him, I like how he trains.
Yeah, me, I would say Cuellar.
Yeah. Stacey, I don't think Stacey.
No.
Not
for no. I'm not getting involved, Dom. You got me fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I was just gonna say. I was gonna say right now. The only issue with that would be is involved with Don.
So listen, I gotta say shout out to this man and give him his proper introduction because you know when we get special people to come into the live and comment, you gotta give their special introduction. So I want to say shout out to my guy Box Talk 101, my main man Freddie. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Box Talk 101. Great guy, great person. By the way, Box Talk, I saw that live you put out the other day. You recorded a live and you had like it was like for Gabriel Rosado and Bernard Hopkins and Blair Cobbs and you know my future wife Nisa Estrada. I appreciate you for that. I didn't see that one. I couldn't hear what they were saying because of the background. But I don't even care. They did it live. It was all 4 of them. And so she's on the bed like this, and she got the little boxing glove chain
on the bed.
She's laying on the bed like. Are you
serious?
It was beautiful. I love it.
Wow.
Thank God bless you, Freddie. You're MVP. But he said, "I'm here for all the smoke." AJ wants to join Team Juice. He hasn't come out and said it, but like you know,
he said Team Juice.
Team Juice. He hasn't come out and said it, but basically what happened was he went to go visit the Canelo gym, and a picture surfaced of him and Ronald Ellis. So now there's all the speculation. Plus, he then went on, I think his Instagram stories or Twitter somewhere, and he posted a picture of him with a no boxing, no life hat on. So stirring the pot. It's definitely not a crazy conspiracy. Like I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. The pictures are out there. It's out there. But yeah, he might be doing. I'll tell you this. That's the last thing AJ needs to do. Yeah. Because could you imagine? He's already big as fuck. He looks like an Adonis. Could you imagine if he joined? Imagine if he joins Eddy Reynoso's team and then he becomes the heavyweight Oscar Valdez. And he starts punching harder. Like he's punching harder than his third punch. He's punching faster than his third punch. His reflexes are crazier than ever.
I'll be honest. For him to be focused on the fight and putting a lot of light on himself, I personally, any fight, good luck. You want to go with him or not? I would not go to Reynoso's gym right now. With all this stuff going on, like you said, Team Juice. The first thing they come up with, he wanted to fight because
he's on PEDs. They gave us some of that Mexican beef.
Yeah, so go to a gym, go to a trainer that doesn't have that craziness behind him. The critic, the what's it called, the black ball being put on you.
Mm-hmm.
Go somewhere else. AJ got so many options to go to. Go get somebody. Do it. Don't wait for fucking Eddie Hearn. Like I told you, a lot of trainers that go to Eddie Hearn, and he's not doing shit for him.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Danny. Danny says Manny Robles is taking credit for nothing. Canelo is a natural fighter. Robles is just lucky he's a trainer. But you mean I think you're getting confused with Reynoso. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Box Talk 101 says AJ wants to be the new member, of the Monstars. Like you know, Space Jam. You watch Space Jam?
Yeah.
The Monsters. They sucked all the talents and they got. They started playing better.
Jesus.
Yeah, BT. By a chance, who was Vladimir Klitschko's trainer during his dominance in the heavyweight division? And would AJ benefit from having? Well, that guy is dead, and his name is Emmanuel Stewart. But the last couple of fights was when Manny passed away. Jonathan Banks was in charge of that. So yeah,
he's decent too. Quiet guy, does his thing. Another one.
Yeah, Danny. I think you're getting Robles confused with Reynoso. Manny Robles didn't train Canelo.
Yeah.
You're talking about Eddy Reynoso. So I got to correct you, champ.
Yeah.
But look, as you guys can see, there's no shortage of options out there. Anthony Joshua. I think Anthony Joshua. I'm gonna be very intrigued when training camp starts to see what happens, what comes of
what it is or whatever. Yeah. Because I mean, him coming all the way here across the pond. This Anthony Joshua came all the way across the pond.
Listen, he's been in the UK his whole life. He ain't never come really out here to train like that.
This wasn't a big fight.
The one time he trained him, in America was when he trained in. Remember he about that warehouse in Miami?
Yeah.
Somewhere that nobody knows who the fuck he was.
Right.
But he got a warehouse and he's trained there for the Ruiz fight.
Yep.
That was one time he trained in America for the first Ruiz fight.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Jesus. I hope I don't know. He gotta make a change, but don't make it for the worse.
Now, my man Rico, I like Rico. He says, Reynoso will absolutely ruin Anthony Joshua. He's an overrated trainer, and he has to go to Derrick James, Sugar Hill, Bomac, or even Freddie Roach.
Hey.
Bomac, that's a good shot right there.
One.
They work hard over there.
Yeah.
You know, that could be a good one because they do their camps like in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Where they're like, there's no like distractions. There's no big city life. So, you know, if he go train Bomac, he's gonna be running up the damn fucking mountains in Colorado Springs.
And he's gonna eat good too.
He's gonna eat real. So I like that one.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that one.
One too.
Even though I don't think Bomac has a lot of experience training heavyweights, but maybe. What did you think of Frank Sanchez beating F.A. Jagba? I did not see that coming. Well, Pops did.
I did. I see the skills. His movement will be different. Difference in him beating a Jaguar, but to be fair to a Jaguar, I'm gonna say what Brandon said about a lot of fighters get down to the lights. His brain became frozen. He was not throwing.
He just didn't throw any punches. Now, I'm not gonna take anything from Sanchez. Sanchez definitely the movement, the counter punching, and him being that ring general. It really made it hard for Jabba to want to pull the trigger. But even when F.A. was in prime position to throw punches, he just wouldn't do it. And he really looks like
still green.
A hype job.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate using that word, but like I used to think very low of F.A. Jabba, and then he saw a top rank, and Hyro's gonna comment here in a second. He saw a top rank. He got a couple knockouts. They matched him well. And then first time he stepped up, he looked like he did back when he was fighting at PBC. So
fighting throwing punches at all. I mean, kudos to Ronnie Shields. He was screaming the shit out of him in the corner. He still didn't want to listen.
You know, a lot of people say, well, why did like you were saying, Pops? You're like, why did they tell him to throw more punches? Well, like you can tell these fighters to throw punches until they're blue in the face. Yeah. But at the end of the day, the fighter starts to go out there, execute the game plan. Mm-hmm. You know, it comes down to execution. BT, do you think teaching AJ pull counters if he would? Do you think teaching AJ pull counters if he was training with Roger or Floyd Mayweather? Absolutely. That's part of the way they fight. I don't see why they wouldn't. You don't really see too many heavyweights do pull counters, so that would be very interesting to watch. You know, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Freaking Hyro says the same fighters, just different. He's the same fighter, it's just different lights. Talking about F.A. Jaguar. He's saying because when he saw the top rank, I started talking about him differently. But listen, he wasn't punched like that when he was at PBC. When he was at PBC, he had some knockouts, but nothing like when he knocked out Brian Howard. He turned that guy around in a 180-degree angle.
He was good at moving him from the good because I was very critical of that. He actually improved his thing, but he just did not. For some reason, he just became froze. Oh shit!
Now look, Freddie, Box Talk 101. He just dropped an interesting piece of information which I didn't even know.
I gotta get to the channel.
I didn't even know.
What is it, Box?
Box Talk 101. Freddie's a good guy.
Yeah, very good guy.
Okay. Freddie says Frank Sanchez used to be trained by Rolly's trainer. I didn't know that until just recently. Shit, I didn't know that at all. So you drop a game on me. His trainer. I don't even know Rolly's trainer's actual name. I just know that his name is Bullet. They call him Bullet. Black dude named Bullet.
Bullet. That's it.
Yeah, Bullet.
Wow.
Yeah. So
interesting name.
He used to be trained by Bullet. Do you know? Hey, Freddie, by any chance, do you know his real name? Because I just know him as Bullet.
You call Johnny. Johnny will let you know.
Johnny doesn't even know his name. I've asked him.
Are you serious? Is it like an Al Hammond thing?
He don't even know.
Are you serious?
He knows him as Bullet.
What?
Yeah.
Rolly must know though.
I'm sure Rolly. I don't know Rolly.
Yeah.
The only style that will benefit AJ is the Kronk style. AJ should go to Tyson Fury's trainer, the nephew of Emmanuel. We talked about that earlier. You know,
Yeah.
Sugar Hill Stewart, I think would be a good shout. Sugar Hill Stewart's trained, you know, Tyson Fury. He's a puncher's trainer. You know, if you look at the guys he's trained, they've all been punchers. Guys like you know, Adonis Stevenson, Anthony Durrell.
Yeah.
These guys are punchers. So it would be a good fit, but I don't know if that would go well with Fury because, as Usyk said earlier,
yeah,
you know,
emotional thing.
Peter Fury worked with David Haye when Fury was out the ring, and now they don't even speak no more. They're not even on speaking terms,
so we don't know.
Might not be the best idea.
Yeah.
His name is Cromwell Gordon. He used to fight, so Cromwell Gordon. Yeah, his last fight was against Sergey Derevyanchenko. He got knocked out. Did he get knocked out? And they couldn't knock out Jonathan Rice. That's how I knew he was a hype job.
Oh shit!
But he didn't fight. Listen, he didn't fight the Jonathan Rice that trained at Mundo Boxing Gym. He fought pre-Mundo Boxing Gym.
Yeah.
Philip Hergovic sparring Johnny Rice. If I bet you right now, if they were to fight right now, I bet you they'd be a competitive fight. It would be a competitive fight.
Yeah.
Because Efe Ajagba, man. I'm sorry. I gotta repent. I committed the cardinal sin of believing the hype. I used to always, anytime his name is mentioned, I used to always say, yo, I used to go out of the way to say, yo, Efe Ajagba is fucking garbage. Alex likes Efe Ajagba.
Yeah. But he'll probably get better from this fight too. He probably, whatever the case was, he's gonna have to get better. Ronnie Shields did the best he could, so yeah, there's something. It's on him. Like you said, trainers don't fight for the fighter. The fighter's got to fight in the ring.
Absolutely. I'm saying no. Cromwell Gordon didn't get knocked out. But they did stop it. They labeled it. They labeled the ending as outclassed on BoxRec. Oh man.
Outclassed. Does that sound like that?
They're just saying he lost. He's saying he lost. Let me see. I think he's never been down actually. Who? Cromwell Gordon? He's never been dropped. So you got shit. All right. Shout out to Bullet.
The calm Bullet.
You know what? And guess what? When Rolly knocks the fuck out of Tank, he gonna win Trainer of the Year.
Yeah.
Nah. Bullet. Hey, I know. Hey, I'm not gonna talk too much about this. I mean, maybe we can because we spent an hour talking about heavyweight trainers. But Freddie, I know for a fact because I've seen your Instagram posts that you're all in on the Rolly beat. Freddie, he's telling everybody right now, anybody that'll listen, that Rolly's gonna knock out Tank. Roy's gonna beat Tank. So I want to get his take on that.
Yeah.
Rico Rancher says, seriously, the Ruiz and Valdez arguably lost their last fights. Well, Valdez actually lost, in my opinion. Canelo is Canelo, and Sanchez is decent for now. Reynoso gets way too much credit. It's a one-dimensional camp, and I agree. I think they train hard. I think he does a good job of preparing game plans for his fighters, but I don't really think he's reinvented the wheel. I don't see him in the same light as like Sugar Hill Stewart or David Jackson or Tony Sims. There's a lot of trainers that I would class as better trainers than Eddy Reynoso. That maybe they haven't trained as many big names or gotten as many established fighters, but I think they do better training jobs in the corner than Eddy Reynoso.
Canelo was the champion. He went to Reynoso. Oscar was the champion. He went to Reynoso. My guy CD Martinez went. They were already champions before they get there. How much more can you do for them? Yeah.
And Box Talk's doubling down. He says, absolutely, he got Rolly knocking out Tank. He says,
I got phone.
He said Rolly sparred Mario Barrios.
Did he?
Yeah. And he had a thing on his Instagram. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you don't follow him on Instagram, but on Instagram, Pops, he had a thing, right? He Rolly Anthony Yiggett, right?
Okay.
Anthony Yiggett beat Sandy Omar, right?
Sandy Omar.
And Sandy Omar beat Mikey Garcia.
That's crazy.
But we're not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah.
We're not ready to have that conversation. Team Rolly, damn right.
Let me see what the hell. Damn. I'll get it later. Box 101, right? So it's called.
Box Talk 101. AJ has lost his confidence of attacking since he lost to a Ruiz. They'll bring that fire back on him. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he needs a trainer. I think his trainer has to be somebody who's technically proficient. So someone that knows what they're talking about from a technical standpoint, that has actually trained heavyweights before. And I think that trainer is going to have a big personality, the kind of personality that will push Anthony Joshua. And the trainer that I think best fits that description is Miguel Cuellar, who's been training fighters for well over 20 years, going all the way back to when he was in the 90s at Gleason's gym to Glenn Johnson in the mid 2000s. You know, he's trained Antonio Tarver.
Yeah.
He's trained Nicholas Walters. He's trained all kinds of fighters. So to me, I think that'd be a good shout. That's just my opinion. And then on top of that, if he trained with him, that means that he'd probably do his camp here in South Florida.
Right.
Maybe if he were to come to South Florida and do his camp.
Yeah.
You know the heavyweight. There's so many heavyweights here. You got Hergovic. You got Cassius Chaney trained there. You got Trevor Bryan. You got I'm blanking out, but there's a lot of heavyweights that train here. So I think it would be very easy to find sparring. You know, he would lose weight quickly. He'd be at whatever weight he wanted to be at because the climate is good. Orlando Cuellar, man. That's a video I'm gonna do soon. Why Orlando Cuellar should be hired by Anthony Joshua? That's gonna be my video. And shout out to everybody here. Make sure you smash that like button. It's the Untouchable True School Sports Empire. It's your boy BT Brennan Taylor. We got Pops. It's 1:55 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Listen, we pretty much covered what we need to cover. So we're an hour and 6 minutes in. So I'll give it about 20 to 30 more minutes before we end the live.
Yeah.
Now it's just a free for all. So anything y'all want to ask, anything else, boxing or non-boxing, I don't even care. You can ask personal stuff if you want. I don't even care. Boxing and non-boxing. 30 minutes, questions and answers. You guys do what you want to do. Ask what you want to ask. Bro, you should have seen it yesterday in Fresno. It got crazy. Teofimo walked in and stayed true to his nickname. He took over. I mean, I saw the videos. I did see the videos. Now, I'm talking about he told David Haney, I heal my motherfucking hands. Yeah. I heal my hands. The only part that kind of made my skin crawl, I said this yesterday on the live. The only part that made my skin crawl is he told David Haney, he said, I'm from New York. And Tio, I had the video of you talking. I did the interview. You said it yourself. You're not from New York, Tio. You're from South Florida.
He didn't know how to handle that.
But come on, man.
He didn't know how to handle that.
But Devin Haney was pissed. Devin Haney was like, you're a cap. You're a cap. You do not want to fight me. You do not want to fight me. I mean, I don't know if Freddie, I don't know if you ever saw Tekashi 6ix9ine when he had his Trippie Redd, the rapper. No. But I remember when Trippie Redd and Tekashi 6ix9ine were beefing, they went on Instagram Live. And Trippie Redd told Tekashi 6ix9ine, he said, I have more money than you. I have more fans than you. When Devin Haney started talking about that, he's the Trippie Redd of boxing. Devin Haney is a Trippie Redd of boxing. He told Tio, I have more money than you. I have more fans than you.
Yeah, and like you've been spoofed for the whole time of your life. You don't know what this come up for. I can't even come up. You don't know what
nothing. From the trenches.
Yeah, you don't know what that is. So you've been given everything. He
said, I'm the boss of my company.
I'm telling you, I make money. People will beat the shit out of him. He's gonna be really embarrassed for all this talking he's doing. If he gets in there with Teofimo, he's done. I'm telling you that right now.
Now Hiro said, BT, I found the woman I kind of like. She's a boxer, but you may not agree. Drop her name.
Oh no, you crazy. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't. Appreciate it. Yeah.
He has more fights. He has more Mexico fights than him too. Than who? Who does Devin Haney have more Mexico? Who does Devin Haney have more Mexican fights than? But he do got a lot of them. He got a whole lot of Mexico fights. Shit, he probably got as many Mexican fights as Gallo Estrada at this point. Devin Haney.
It's crazy. Hey, I'm telling you, he better stay in his lane like I've been saying.
Oh, he's talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh, okay.
He's saying Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Oh no, the Teofimo.
Yeah, he better stay in his lane. That's what Devin Haney better do.
Yeah.
But he's gonna get his ass beat straight up.
Okay, so now we listen. I'm giving you guys the green light. Y'all got 30 minutes. If y'all want to veer away from boxing and ask Pops life questions, or you can ask me questions or anything, it's just gonna be whatever you want to be now. You can ask boxing questions, we'll answer them. But if you want to ask anything about life, you got questions for Pops or questions for me that has nothing to do with boxing, ask and we will answer honestly. Now, the first non-boxing question comes from One Triple F. He says, "Hi, Pops. How do you know when to not take a woman's shit no more? Do we have to respect them all the time?"
Oh, it's a two-way street. And if they can't respect you and you can't respect them, if they can't respect you, then that's a big sign right there. Respect goes both ways. You gotta respect them, they respect you. But if after you get tired and nothing changes, and you gotta make a change, it's time to move on.
Now I know Pop. I know you didn't ask me this question, but I want to chime in as well. I really feel like you gotta establish respect whenever you start association with women. If you don't establish who you are and your masculinity and your the respect, that mutual respect with the woman in the beginning, then knowing the middle and the end of your relationship will often start how the beginning did.
Yeah.
But in the first, the honeymoon stage, it's always great. She looks great to you. There's nobody that looks better, but eventually the looks kind of fade, and you see the woman for who she is as a person. So you gotta establish that respect at the beginning, so that you don't get disrespected in the end. But yeah, man, you gotta draw a line. You gotta draw a line, and you gotta every now and then you gotta check these women, because these women, they really be testing you.
You gotta let them know they don't know you.
Yeah. Oh man, Hyro says that the female boxer he's got a crush on is Savannah Marshall. He says, "I love that woman. She gonna beat Claressa Shields."
Well, what happened to the sisters, brother?
He picked the whitest. He picked the fucking whitest.
Is he being funny?
Whitest, no, he's serious.
Oh,
I mean, listen, I'm not the most attracted to Savannah Marshall. She's not ugly though. She's not ugly.
No, whatever you like. I'm just saying.
Great fighter.
What did he preach that you like brown sugar?
Yeah, what happens to black girls, Hyro? Hyro was talking all this stuff. I need me a. I thought you were gonna say Alicia Bumgarner. I thought that was right up your alley, but he said no. He said I like the black girls.
Hey, what do you think progress goes from here now that Mikey Garcia lost? With progress, he was really adamant and pissed off about that. Progress missing the fight with Mikey Garcia. Where's he go from here?
Where does he go?
Yeah, we fight.
If Devin Haney can find his balls, Devin Haney, that'd be the fight. Now, Freddie's chiming in. Box Talk's chiming in on his favorite female fighter. He says Amanda Serrano in that accent. I ain't mad at that. No. Amanda Serrano, I've seen her in person. Jesus, man. Every time I see Amanda Serrano, I feel this intense urge to go work out in the gym, because she's as fit as a fiddle. Y'all already know what it is with me. You already know what it is. Sinisa Estrada all day. What kind of music do you and Pops vibe to? I'll let Pops. What do you like to do?
I just like Spanish music. I just went back, put on the 60s, 70s, the Temptations, something like that. Rap music, I'm lost in rap music. I grew up with Run DMC. I grew up with Two Live Crew. I grew up
Eazy-E.
Yeah, Eazy-E.
Tupac.
Yeah, Tupac. I love Tupac. But anything about rap music, sometimes I go to my son and tell me, I just heard a new music on rap.
They'll tell me a song from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, so I'm not, but I usually listen to the old school music, the oldies, slow jams, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the Spanish music. No. That's me.
For me, it all depends on what day you ask me. I'm a very versatile person when it comes to the music. Now, tradition, I like pop, so obviously you like the old stuff, Nas, Wu-Tang Clan, Kanye West, Little Brother. For those of you who really know, you about Little Brother. A lot of Mos Def, Talib Kweli, them guys.
Yeah.
Rappers make me think. Big Crit. My boy Paul Wright 23, of course. But Pops always says I was born in the wrong era, because I like a lot of soul music, a lot of the Stylistics, Blue Magic, Gainer, shit like that. I like stuff like that. When I'm shadow boxing and stuff, and I'm training in the backyard, I never listen to rap. I always listen to love songs. Love songs make me want to beat the shit out of somebody. Yeah. So. Yeah. By any chance, man, on your story, when you talked to that woman, what did you guys talk about other than boxing? What about that? Don't worry about it. Nah, she just told me about her nationality and stuff, and where she was from, and what she's doing, and that was it. It wasn't anything too crazy. Beautiful. Shout out to the lovely Danielle, the ring card girl from Bad Promotions last night. For those of you who don't know what I was talking about, I was at a fight last night, right? And I was wanted to go talk to this girl that I know, this girl named Melissa. She's like a real estate agent, a very attractive, 39-year-old, real estate lady. I wanted to go say hi to her, and she was happening to sit with the ring card girl. So I say hi to her. Me and her have this joke where I always joke around with her, and I say that she's my work wife and I'm her husband. So she told the girls, "Oh my God, you guys don't know, Brennan's my husband. He knows everything about boxing." He tells these girls this, and then the girl, there was two girls. There was a black girl, and then there was a girl she looks Hispanic, but she was from Trinidad. Yeah. And the girl from Trinidad, she's like, he does? Oh my God. So then I started talking a little about boxing and stuff. And yeah, we didn't really talk about anything too crazy, but we talked. We talked. Yeah. Shout out to Freddie. He says, funny story. I hired a guy to do interviews for me, but he didn't know shit about boxing. Want to know how I found out he didn't know shit about boxing? Yeah. Please let me know.
Let me know. Wrap up to the girls, otherwise.
I like some brown sugar, but I don't discriminate. I'm afraid I'm gonna get a black girl pregnant and pay child support. I asked because I don't want to be the person to stick with the same conversation. I feel women tend to get bored with the same topic. Well, no, we didn't just talk about boxing. We talked about, like, I just asked her basic questions about herself, and she asked me basic questions about her. We just kind of made conversation off of that. So, absolutely. Bucksuck says, me, is Shakur is Steven Shakur related to Tupac Shakur though? That's how you know he didn't know shit about. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. You'd be surprised how people that go to these fights and do interviews, they don't know shit about boxing.
Shit, we know some channels that locally.
Like, and for me, like, I'm a boxing like nut. Like, I'm like, I follow religiously. Like, it's my life. So for me, it's very easy to spot people who don't know shit about boxing from a mile away. Bro, I never knew somebody from Florida who knows Big Crit. That's what's up. Big Crit's an underrated legend and stuff. So that's not surprising that you know him. I've been listening to Big Crit since I was literally like in 10th or 11th grade. So that was years ago. So yeah, I've been a Big Crit fan for years. I like him. Obviously, I'm in South Florida, so I grew up listening to like a lot of Trick Daddy and Rick Ross and Ace Hood. You know, Iceberg, who's a local rapper. You know. I like all kinds of music, man. But I like. I don't know if y'all ever heard. I don't even know what kind of genre of music you could classify this as. But there's this group called. There's this girl that sings. Her name is Pink Pantheress. She had this one song that went viral. I like that kind of music a lot too. Sometimes I might listen to MGMT. I might listen to Empire of the Sun. I might be listening to all kinds of shit. So it all depends on the day. But
the mood.
You know, as far as rappers go, Bishop Nehru. He's a newer rapper. I like him. MF Doom. A lot of guys. There's a lot of guys, man. I could be here for days. Like, one thing that people probably don't know about me is outside of boxing is that apart from boxing, I would say one of the things that I like the most, that I'm just as passionate and just as knowledgeable about, is hip hop. I love hip hop. Oh yeah, by the way, Pops, Pyro wants to know. He wants me to let you know that he did a video for you recently. He did a video where about your raw predictions, and it has soft music in the background.
Okay, yeah, put that out there.
I gotta put that out there.
That's all good. This is Box Talk 101.
That's it. Yeah.
Subscribe.
There you go.
You subscribe to the channel, Box Talk.
Now, Box Talk wants to know. He wants to know how I came up with the True School Sports name. That's the question, Box Talk. Now, this is a very, very long explanation, so I'm gonna give it to you. So, when it was like, so we're in 2021. So we're talking about, I came up with a True School Sports nickname almost 10 years ago, because before I got serious making YouTube videos basically from 2012 to like early 2016, True School Sports actually started off as a blog where I was covering all kinds of sports. I used to cover the NBA. I had people that used to write for me. I had like at one time I had like 40 or 50 people writing for me at one point in time.
Yeah, I remember that.
I had people. I was sending people to go to NBA events. Like, I had people covering the New York Knicks and the Magic and Mavericks and the Hornets. So I that was kind of the route I wanted to go at first. Before I got to boxing, I was a owner of a website, so to speak, right? When I first started a blog, right? Oh no! Before I got to YouTube and before I got to the True School Sports nickname, what happened was when I was a junior in high school, a guy by the name of Luis Perez, he had a blog called the South Florida Sports Pulse or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but basically I knew him through Facebook, and he saw that I was very passionate about different types of sports. And his blog was all about like South Florida, covering South Florida sports, like Marlins, Dolphins, Heat, Florida Panthers, University of Miami, stuff like that. So he actually wanted to about the Florida Panthers. I'm a huge Florida Panthers fan in the NHL hockey team. I wrote like one article or two for him, and then the blog kind of like he stopped doing it, and then he didn't do it anymore. So then my best friend Martinez, he actually suggested that I start my own blog, right? So I started a blog in June of 2012. June of 2012, I started a blog. You may not even know this, Pops, this fact, but do you know what the original name of my blog was before I got to True School Sports? You probably don't even know this because it was only for like a couple days. But
No.
most people don't even know. I don't think anybody knows but me.
No.
So I used to call it I used to call it Water Cooler Sports Talk. It was called Water Cooler Sports Talk for 4 days, and that was the best that was the best name I could come up with at the time. Then I remember one day I'll never forget it. I was in the Dania Beach Library.
Yeah.
I was by myself. One day. I was in the Dania Beach Library. I was like 17. I was 18 years old. So then, right, I had a piece of paper and I just started writing down names. I came up with like 10 names, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember when I got to the last three, all right? When I got to the last three, I wrote like I wrote old school sports. I'm like, that's fucking trash.
Yeah.
And then I wrote new school sports. I'm like, that's still trash.
Yeah.
And then I kind of paused for like 15 to 20 minutes, right? And then so I put my headphones in, I listened to music, right? And I forgot what song it was. There's a couple of songs where I had heard the term true school thrown in lyrics.
Right.
I had heard the name true school thrown in lyrics.
Yeah.
2 Chainz used to always say true in the songs too, like true, TRU. And that was like very, like, he was popular at that time.
The beginning of.
At that time. So then I just wrote it down. Like, look, I just wrote it down. True school, sports. And then, like, I typed in the term true school online to see if it meant anything because I'd heard it thrown around in rap lyrics.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently true school just means a combination of old school and new school. So I kept it at that, and it's not, I haven't changed it since. So that's pretty much the gist of how I got the name. I hope that was a good explanation. But one SSS says, I love me milk chocolate too, man. The problem is with them is they always have an ex that they still have, that they still think about. He tried to fight. Have you ever been in a situation where a man is fighting you over a girl? Oh my god. So nobody. It never got physical, but I remember, for those of you who really watch this channel, if you guys may remember, like in 2018. 2017, 2018, when I had a girlfriend, I had her on the channel like multiple times. I was teaching her about boxing, so I wanted her to feel what I was doing. So I had her on the channel, right? You know, long story short, we eventually broke up. Things didn't work out, whatever. And then I remember, I'll never forget this shit, right? So I did a live one time in the middle of a park. This is like the summer of 2019, in the middle of a park, and somebody who had seen those videos asked me. They said, "BT, where's your girlfriend? What happened?" And I told him what happened. And at the time, I was very emotional. I was very in my feelings and not mature. And, you know, I'm a different person than I was back then.
You've grown up.
And I've grown up a lot in the last 2 years. And I pretty much said, yeah, this happened, this, that, and the third. And I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, right? But it was in a random ass live. The live had like 400 views.
Yeah.
Like, it had no views, and the live was 2 hours long.
Jeez.
So the only way that you would even know that I said these things is either if you watched the live, or if somebody told you. So to this day, I don't know what happened. I don't know who told them, or if he watched it, or if he was spying on my channel, or what happened. But basically, what happened was, like, 2 days later, I go to my comments, and he's in my comments threatening me, saying, because in the video I said, oh, if I run it, like I hope to run into her soon so I can tell her this, that, and the third. And he's like, oh, you'll never run into her. If you see her, you'll never box again. But I never saw him in person, so he never got a chance to prove those words. And I was angry I was angry about that for like a good 2 years. I mean, I've let it go. I've matured. I've realized now as time's went on that God blessed me so much letting that girl walk out of my life. But yeah, apparently they got married or whatever. God bless them.
Move on.
And, but yeah, that was the closest I ever got to fighting.
Move on.
Oh no, I'm wrong. That was the first time I got close to fighting a guy over some girl. Because he got real tough in the comments, right? But he was texting my face. Okay, the second time was just a couple months ago when I was in Texas. Okay, now I told the story a couple of times. I went to Angelo Leo's
relationship. That just sounds different.
Yeah, this was different. I went to Angelo Leo's fight, right, against Aaron Alameda on the Chavo undercard.
Yeah.
And when I was at that fight, they talked me into going into the club. And mind you, I was dressed very nicely. You know, I don't really drink, but I had some alcohol in my system.
Yeah.
long story short, I talked to one girl. She gave me her number. I talked to another girl who had a boyfriend. One of the boyfriend's friends winds up fighting one of my friends who's a fighter. That friend knocked the guy out unconscious, and that's what it is. He knocked him out unconscious, and then he got destroyed. Like all my friends laid all his friends out.
Right.
So he picked the fight with the wrong people.
Yeah, man, it's not even worth it, man. There's too much fish in the sea. Too much fish in the sea to worry about one woman.
Hyro says, I watched your Andre Wards, and you referred to the channel as TSS. You used to hate Andre Ward. He was like Canelo. He was watered down on the channel. Yeah. I don't quite hate Andre Ward as much as Canelo, but back then it was bad. It was bad. And I was probably a lot less mature back then, so I was saying off the wall shit about Andre Ward.
Now he's one of the best commentators.
But look, I'm still not a fan of his style. I'm not gonna say act like I'm still a fan of his style, but I can appreciate some of the subtleties of his style. I've definitely learned a lot more about boxing when I used to make those videos.
Yeah.
And he's turned into one of the greatest commentators in the sport. So God bless him. Bro, is a fighter.
He actually tweeted to you too.
He did. Bro, is a fighter really disciplined, but not disciplined when they have 4 children with different women like Canelo? Fighters are horny as fuck. Can you confirm? Yes. Oh my God. I've got like plenty of friends that are fighters, and you know, many times I talk to a fighter, we'll both know the same chick, and he'll say, yeah, you know, she got a fat ass, man. He's like, if I get her in this situation, I'm gonna do this. Yeah. You know what? Listen, fighters are the. You told me this. Shannon Briggs' nephew told me this. Yeah. A couple of years ago, Shannon Briggs' nephew told me this at the Heavyweight Factory, and it's so true. He says that most fighters, when they're not training, right? Yeah. They either have to have a lot of kids, or they do a lot of drugs, because drugs and having sex are the only 2 things that give fighters the same thrill as fighting. So they gotta get that adrenaline fix somewhere. Crazy. So yeah, I concur to you.
Someone that come in for the first.
I know of one fighter. I'm not gonna say his name, but I know one fighter. He's only got like less than 15 fights. You know, 3 fights ago, he dated a single mother, 2 kids. Now he's dating another single mother with a couple kids. So these fighters will hit anything.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, women target you if you got money and stuff too. You gotta be careful.
Yeah. You know, so yeah, I think professional fighters are probably the horniest people on earth.
Fighters coming up from out of state to come here to get away from that. The first thing they have to go is go.
Yeah, there was one. I'll never forget this. Me and Pops, right?
I ain't getting involved with that.
Last year, me and Pops went to Warriors Boxing Gym, and there was this amateur fighter that was getting ready to spar. Like this motherfucker, he has his headgear on. He got his mouthpiece in. He's literally getting ready to spar in the gym, and he turns to me and Pops before the first round, and he says, "Hey, do you guys know where the bitches are here in Florida?"
Yeah.
I said, "Yeah, man, but you gotta worry about sparring."
Yeah, we're not involved with that, because what happens is they're here with the trainers and stuff, and we put them in a place where they're supposed to go, and they get in trouble or something, then we look bad. Yeah. So we just think, well, let's see, you go on your own way. I ain't getting involved.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. I know plenty of places, but if you start fucking up, I'm not gonna have the trainers come to me and say, "Oh, look what you did. You told them to go to South Beach, and you told them to go to Brickell and all these places. So this is your fault." Nah, none of that. Bros, is Mikey Garcia really a bum? Oh, shout out to She.
What's up, She?
A surprise guest appearance from She. He says, "Is Mikey really a bum?" Nah, he's not a bum. I never thought Mikey Garcia was a bum, but I never thought he was as great as advertised either. I think Mikey Garcia had a lot of talent to be a great fighter, but as he said many times in interviews that he doesn't love boxing. He don't love boxing like that. You know, he just does boxing for money. So the best way I can describe Mikey Garcia is complacency. He's probably been one of boxing's most complacent fighters over the last 5 or 6 years, and that's why his career hasn't got to where it should have been.
His brother made a video, Robert Garcia, in the hotel room. They were talking about it. I didn't see the video on Instagram.
What did he say?
I didn't see
I saw some what they were saying. He said, well, you know how I joke around on Mexican fans? Oh, when a fighter outboxes a Mexican fighter, the Mexican fans always say, "He's running." Yeah. Or does his run? Yeah. That's exactly what Garcia said.
That Machi was running around?
Yeah, he was running around the ring.
That he was running around? Or
that Sandio Martin was running around the ring. Oh, shit. That he needs to fight like a real man. Hey, Ellie said the same thing.
I respect Ellie's setback, but I'm sorry. He's sucking for a lot of shit he does. Stop being so biased.
D Calico, shout out to him. He says Joshua is finna get that juice. Hey, anybody who joins with also camp, they're gonna be under a big microscope. So
Yeah,
it's not
good. I don't think it's good. Then we got enough. You already know going to the killer plant fight that he's already comfortable with that. I mean, for Joshua, I love Joshua and everything. I think that'd be the biggest mistake he made to go there. Not because probably they get trained properly, so you know what happens. I don't, like you said, was saying about the juice and all that shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
any more questions, guys? Boxing questions, life questions, anything. Y'all can ask me anything right now. I'm gonna answer it. So ask away. Y'all got my undivided attention.
Me and BT agreed that Navarrete can beat Shakur. Right, BT? We agree on that one? We agree that Navarrete can beat Shakur, right?
This man, for some reason, this guy thinks that Emmanuel is going to go up to 130 and beat Shakur Stevenson.
If they ever
This the same guy who's picking Jamal Herring and beat Shakur Stevenson. And this the same guy who criticized Jamal Herring and called him a quitter.
I didn't understand got injury, okay? After I understood.
No, you don't understand because of how it was in the Frampton fight. If you lost the Frampton, you would have been shitting on Jamal Herring.
But listen, I'm going to say it again. We both came to an agreement last night.
We didn't come to no agreement.
That Navarrete.
You're starting to sound like this idiot. Yo, there was this Canelo fan, right?
Are you serious?
Yeah, a couple months ago, right? I'm gonna be honest. I can be honest. There was this Canelo fan, right? I went on this live like back in March, April.
Yeah.
And this Canelo fan, it was like 4 in the morning. It was like 3 in the morning. I was in Texas. You know, remember when I was in Felipe, I told you those long days. Like, it's long. I'm tired as fuck. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning one time, and I'm on this channel. I don't even know what channel it was on, but some channel. And me and this guy are arguing about Demetrius Andrade Canelo, and he brought up a couple points that I don't even remember right now. About Demetrius Andrade, and I didn't really try to argue with him. I just let him talk. Right?
We felt like, yeah.
This guy came to the one videos. He said, he said, yeah, I schooled you and presented you the facts, and you agreed that Canelo didn't duck Andrade and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Now you're still. I showed you the proof, and you're acting like a woman and all this stuff. So now I wrote this. Like, literally, the first thing I did this morning, I sat right here. I wrote him a thesis statement. I'm talking about a thesis statement.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm with my time for that.
Yeah. Here we go. So, a man says, why is AJ the most lucrative and highest paid active boxer? That's a great question. Well, I think. Listen, a lot of times in boxing, when these fighters become cows, a lot of it is just due to timing. You know, Floyd even said it best. It's all about timing. I think Anthony Joshua came to boxing at a great time where, you know, people were sick of the Klitschko's. You know, Tyson Fury was having his problems. He had everything. He had the gold medal, which is, as I've said many times with the American fighters, but for any fighter, really, a gold medal is great for marketing purposes. It's great for marketing purposes, the gold medal. And it puts you on that fast track towards superstardom. So Anthony Joshua had people invested in his fights, watching him when he was a prospect.
Yeah.
And he was getting attention when he was a prospect. So that goes a long way. Yeah. By the time he actually fought Charles Bond for the world title, it was a mega event in the UK. And by the time he fought Klitschko, it was a mega event in Europe, point blank. So he's the highest paid active boxer because he says a lot of politically correct things. He's very marketable. You know, I'm not trying to sound like fruity here, but a lot of people say he's a good-looking guy. That goes a long way with selling tickets. And he's been in some great fights. And he's a good fighter. So it's a combination of things. It's not just down to one thing. I think Eddy Hearn has done a good job promoting. El Jefe, shout out to him. He says, do you ever feel pressure to get in a relationship with people? People always ask me, are you married? Maybe when I was younger, maybe like when I was like 20 or 19 or 18 or 21, 22. Maybe back then I used to feel pressure. But then like when I actually got into a relationship and I saw what it was really about and I saw the highs and the lows and the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'll tell you this, man. I've really only ever had one real relationship my whole life. And it's been one of those things where like I got about 10 years worth of life lessons. My pops always says, oh, you don't know that much, but like I really paid attention to a lot of things. I have a great memory when it comes to what happened, And I really feel like because of that, because of how things played out, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and the ugly stuff, I don't really give a fuck what anybody thinks now about that part of my life. I'm worried about myself and becoming the best version of myself. So when that time comes, because it will come at some point, I'll be ready for it. But right now, we're not really worried about that. But to answer your question, absolutely not. Let me see. Do all cheaters in boxing get caught, or is it impossible? No, I can tell you right now, I can't disclose who the fighters are, but I know big name fighters in boxing right now that are on PEDs that have not been reported to the media. But I'm not going to say who it is because that'll put me in trouble and that'll put a lot of people around me in trouble. But no, boxing picks and chooses who they want to report as being caught PEDs, and it all comes down to money. If the fighter is a big money maker, or if he has earning potential, then he's more likely to get into things. Now, if he's not a big money maker and he doesn't have a lot of earning potential, it'll get reported immediately. So, no, not everybody gets. Not everybody gets. Not everybody. People get caught. A lot of fighters get caught, but not every fighter gets reported to the public. If that makes sense. What's your favorite heavyweight fight that could be made that doesn't include Fury, Usyk, Wilder, and Joshua? Oh my God, that's a great question. Philip Hrgovic versus Joe Joyce. Yeah. The rematch of the fight in the World Series of Boxing. I want to see that fight. Philip Hrgovic versus Joe Joyce. I think that'd be a fight. Two fighters I'm big fans of. Yeah. He says, what are you saying? I can read it.
So from Canelo, he's strong, and even though the heavyweights also have their own technical things.
Yeah. Bro, when was the last time Boo faced a world champ, let alone undefeated, let alone KO a serious fighter, my friend? The last time he carried out a world champion or a serious fighter? Well, he fought serious fighters, but not many. None of them have been undefeated. Oh, it's been a while. I'd probably say Vanis Martirosyan. It's been a long time. Listen, he can only fight who's willing to sign a contract. And a lot of people are criticizing him for Jason. Now, look, I'm actually glad that this guy that I was telling you about, the Mexican dude that likes Canelo, yeah. I'm glad he commented because he's really smart. I give credit where credit is due. Yeah. He made some great points that I wasn't ready for that night. I'm not going to lie to you. Right. And you could say he got better than me that night. But I like people like him because they challenge it and they keep me sharp. And I actually want to learn things about boxing and it makes me better. Right. So, like, people have been criticizing Jason Quigley, right? And upon further research, I'm starting to realize Quigley's a really good opponent for Boo Andre because that he was Quigley was a world-class amateur. Do you know what his record was in the amateurs? No. 240-10. Jesus. Jason Quigley was 240-10 in the amateurs. 240 wins, only 10 losses. He won a silver in the 2014 AIBA World Championships, the only Irish boxer to ever win a silver medal in the AIBA World Championships. He also happens to be ranked number 10 in the WBO, so I think he's a good opponent. But he hasn't. Listen, Boo Boo can only fight who's in front of him. You know, back to Quigley though. Quigley, he also won his last fight against Shane Moser Jr. He won the WBO NABO title, which is a regional title. Yeah. And like normally, I don't really give these. Like I don't pay attention to what these belts could mean. I just know that when a fighter wins these belts, it helps him get ranking position, right? When I looked at the WBO NABO belt, I was actually surprised that the belt isn't talked about more. That belt, so in the whole history of the middleweight division, there's been 45 sanctioned fights for the NABO title. And of those 45 sanctioned fights for the WBO NABO title, a couple of notable winners of the WBO NABO middleweight title are Daniel Jacobs, David Lemieux, Edison Randall. This was a belt that these guys had to win to either become champion to get the title fights or challenge for the world title. So if you're winning that title, that means you're at a good, credible level in boxing. So on further review, Jason Quigley is actually a better opponent, than I thought, to be honest.
So that's good.
D. Calico says, so no kids. Nah, not right now, champ. Not right now. That kids cost money, and I don't got it like that right now. Maybe, but one day. BT, will you ever go to the UK, man? I want to see the ladies, man. BT, I love me some Indian women, especially the British. Are they brown sugar? There's a lot of Indian women in the UK, Harold. There's a lot of British women. A lot of Indian women in the UK with the British accents.
In London?
Everywhere, especially where I was at. In West Brom and Birmingham. All is it? You're fucking basically in India and Pakistan. That's all they got over there. I'm serious. So you go to certain parts of the UK, you're basically being India or Pakistan. Usyk is pound for pound number one. I agree. Oh man, we got the 108 pound light flyweight champion Masamichi Ibuki. He says, "Will you be going to the WBC convention? I'm ready for Kaiguchi. Where is this year? Do you know where it's at?" Eric Rosas, what's good, champ? Good to see you. Sal Baraja says, "Nice, keep up the great work, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you." Jason isn't a pushover, but I do think Boo Boo will be simply too fast and will be in and out all night for a decision win. Yeah, I think that Boo Boo is a better fighter than Quigley. Obviously, there's levels in boxing. I think Boo Boo is a creme de la creme elite world championship fighter. I think Jason Quigley is a solid contender. But honestly, look, I didn't realize like he's actually a better opponent than I realized. I can unequivocally say that Jason Quigley is better. I mean, I thought he was better than Rocky Fielding and Avni Yildirim to begin with, but I can unequivocally say he is, and I can even say he's a better opponent than Fernando Montiel.
Wow.
He is definitely a better opponent than Fernando Montiel. It is not even close. So I'm just saying, man, there's been some guys that Canelo fought this year, and in the recent memory that I think Quigley is better than, and also same thing goes for Charlo, you know. But listen, we got my man Johnny Boy says, even though I'm crazy about Boo Boo, the entire card is straight fire. I mean, yes, make sure you guys go subscribe to my main man, Johnny Boy. That it is a great card. I'm hoping to get out to the fight. I'm gonna go to the fight. You got Merjan Aquindale on the card. You got what's the other guy? Oh, the real fight on that card is Julio Cesar Martinez versus Williams Arroyo. A great fight.
Ooh.
You know, Arroyo's a guy that was a world championship caliber fighter at 112.
Yep.
He beat who did he beat? I think he beat Cuadras. He beat somebody. I think it was Cuadras. Good fighter, Puerto Rican Olympian. Fought prime Cholatito, and Cholatito beat him convincingly, but he didn't look as good against Arroyo as he was looking against like Edgar Sosa and Brian Valor. So he's a good fighter, probably at the tail end of his career, but a good test for Julio Cesar Martinez. And he said that he thinks Merjan Aquindale might be the most underrated fighter in boxing at the moment. He's underrated. I don't know. I don't even think I disagree with you. Actually, I don't think he's underrated. I think he's just rated probably. He's a good unified champion that really hasn't been tested a whole lot outside of that one fight. I think there's fighters in boxing that are more underrated than him, in my opinion. But you have your opinion. I definitely respect your opinion, Johnny, because you know about boxing. So.
Johnny said that Arroyo beat Squad.
Which division is the most exciting for you, BT? From right now, I'll be honest. The division that I can't believe I'm saying this because
135.
No, hell no. Fuck 135.
I don't even say that.
The division that I've really been enjoying a lot recently, and that I know that I'll be enjoying now and in the years to come, is the 168 division. You know, I'm very excited for this Caleb playing Canelo, but past that, you got David Morrell, who I think is going to be a factor in this division, and then you got Diego Pacheco, who fought last night, and I really think Diego Pacheco was the future of this weight class. I think Diego Pacheco will be a world champion. I think Diego Pacheco is the next Mexican American superstar in boxing. He is hands down, not even close, the best prospect Eddie Hearn has in his whole stable, whether it's Matchroom Boxing USA or Matchroom Boxing England. Diego Pacheco. So for me, 168 probably the division that, surprisingly enough, I'm really enjoying. You got the Benavidez Ukatigi fight, which I think is a trap fight, but a good fight. A lot of good fights at 168. So yeah, man. Which division is Johnny enjoying the least? Lightweight division. Yeah, fuck the lightweight division.
Yeah.
The division where everybody talks and nobody does anything. BT, if you become undisputed like at 105, are you automatically in the Power Palace, or is in about the qualifiers you fought? Listen, anybody who's going undisputed in any weight class has to get pound for pound consideration, because even Cholatito, when Cholatito was at 105, I mean, he didn't get like when Cholatito beat Yutaka Nida to become champion and he beat these guys at 105. He wasn't getting no pound for pound consideration. He didn't really start to get pound for pound consideration until he was fighting at like late in his like 108 pound run, So yeah. I think if you're a great enough, I've always said this: the cream always rises to the top, and if you're truly a great fighter, people will always have to recognize you. Cholatito is a fighter that started off at 105, but people had to pay attention to him. The great fighter back in the day, Leo Gamez, the first fighter to ever become world champion at 105, 108, 112, 115. The only guy besides Chocolatito in boxing history to do that. Did you know that? Leo Gamez, the only fighter in boxing history to go be champion at 105, 108, 108, 112, 115. People had to pay attention to him at some point. So, BT, it looks. Oh, by the way, shout out to Recognize. Shout out to you, Recognize. BT, it looks like the winner will fight Danny Roman since he's a mandatory for both WBC. What do you think about Fulton versus Danny Roman? People say he got robbed against MJ. Danny Roman is a good fighter. You know, Danny Roman doesn't have the most pop in the world. He's willing to get stuck in. He's got good boxing skills. I think Fulton will beat him very easily because I don't think Danny Roman will bring anything to the table that Fulton hasn't seen. Fulton, for a fighter with his amount of fights, he's very experienced with pressure fighters in the Mexican style. So I don't think he really has anything for Fulton, in my opinion. But it's a good fight, a good credible fight. I wouldn't be against it. Johnny Boy Boxing says Chocolatito is one of the greatest little men in boxing of all time. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. You damn right. Shout out to the real TBE, Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Not just the best little men in boxing history, but one of the best men in boxing, point blank. Period. You know, a lot of people when they dig right Canelo, they like to try to prop up his resume and say, man, you know, I just don't know of any fighter in boxing with the resume of Canelo Alvarez. And I'm like, you fucking heard of Chocolatito? You ever heard of Usyk?
You don't know the shit about
you ever heard of these guys? You ever heard of when Pacquiao was active, they would say that? Pacquiao? Like, so
yeah.
I'm right there with you, Johnny.
Johnny no bullshit. Johnny told you like it is. He called it the way it is. That's why I like Johnny's channel.
I got sick of waiting for Naoya Inoue. I lost my hype. Yeah, I mean, I still like the monster, but, you know, he needs to get a big fight soon. Yeah, that's Johnny Boy. BT, what do you think about my list? Usyk 1, Taylor 2, Loma 3, Fury 4, Inoue 5. I think Lomachenko shouldn't even be on the pound-for-pound list, in my opinion. He shouldn't be in the pound-for-pound list. Taylor 2, I'm not knocking that one because Taylor's gone undisputed. Taylor is a no-nonsense fighter. He's not wasting time. Before Usyk 1, I was saying that if I had to pick a fighter to be pound for pound, he probably had the best case. So I can't say that and be mad at him being number 2. Fury 4, I think that's probably fine. But you know, got Crawford in there. All right. Thoughts on Navarrete versus Jouet? I feel like I think he got exposed. I feel like Navarrete don't have knockout power because he has to throw 1,000 punches to knock you out. I was telling my dad that. Me and my dad have been arguing for a long time about Navarrete versus Shakur Stevenson. If they ever fought. If Navarrete goes to 130 and Bob Arum lets fight Shakur, which he won't, I don't think Navarrete will beat Shakur. I think Shakur at 130 is too smart, too strong, and too good for Navarrete.
Well, that's what I'm going to this comment like the one says. I have to agree with what he says as far as how he'll win because, like I said, punch output. That's my argument. Yeah. Shakur don't throw that.
Oh, you know, Pops, I listen, we got 12 more minutes left and I'm gonna get off the live. Yeah. So y'all just make it rain. You got me for 12 more minutes and we'll end it at 2 hours. Pops, I wanted to. I was on YouTube today, like maybe like an hour or so ago, and I was on Nonito channel. Yeah. And his wife was. It was just Romero wasn't in the video. It was just his wife. Right. I don't know what the fuck she was crying about, but she was crying about something.
Seriously?
Yeah. Nice. Sean Gibbons put a post today, and he if you want to ruin your career, take advice from this lady.
Oh shit! So I mean, the thing is, they called him. They convinced Casemiro to sign with Keeper from Portobello, but the reason Casemiro mostly signed there is because she had a part in it, of course, and Daniel went with it, saying that when Sean Gibbons would go ahead and look at the first bit, he wouldn't ask for more money for the fighters. He would just let it be whatever it is, and they basically told Casemiro that your promotion will be trying to get you more money. When you go to a fight, so just like disagree to whatever they put out there for you. But that's not how it works, right? Because if you have a purse bid, that's what they decided before the fight.
Well, purse bid is to whoever wins it. Every promoter has the right to bid whatever they want.
Right, but their argument was to convince Casimiro to come to
Pobellum.
Was that Sean Gibbons wouldn't let him. They called him out on it because of John and his wife. They called him out on it and said that he wouldn't go ahead and bid for more money for your fighters that he has. So that was one of the sticking points that probably convinced.
Yeah, I gotta go watch her live because I went on there today and she was just bawling.
Listen, she's emotional and and Donia is fucking retarded. My wife's retarded. I love my wife to death. She's Cuban. She drives me up a wall, but he can't. He's got his balls hanging out. She got his balls by the fucking hanging. He has to make no decisions by himself. And for him to let her keep talking every other show, he's a fucking idiot. I mean, I respect him as a fighter, but as his wife involved and everything like that, she's a problem.
He says Joette lost to Shakur, and now this feels bad. Well, look, I thought Joette gave a great account of himself, even though he fought really dirty. He still was competitive in the fight. He showed in this fight what people criticized for not having in the Shakur fight, which was that dog, you know. So he was dirty and all this stuff, but hey, he was willing to go there to beat Navarrete.
And I mean, he actually, and I was telling BT that if Joel's eye didn't swell away as bad as it did, he was pushing out the box. I couldn't fight off his back foot. He could have probably possibly had the fight won if he didn't have the actual swollen.
Yeah. So it is what it is, man. Make sure like we got 9 more minutes, and then I'm getting off here. So if y'all got any questions about boxing or anything non-boxing, it could be anything that has fuck all to do with boxing, you could ask that too. I'm gonna answer.
How wants to
that's the video everybody's wanting me to drop. The Plant Canelo prediction video.
Well, you know what?
It's gonna be a long, lengthy video.
It's funny we talking about this because I was talking. People were asking Brandon even at the local fight, does Brandon gamble on fights? Brandon's telling him, no, I don't gamble. And I got to the point, not you, Harold, but I got to the point when people ask you about this, I didn't really put money on the fight. They don't want to see what your opinion is.
They're like, oh, let's bet something. Let's bet something. I'm like, nah, man. I've never bet on boxing ever. And it's not because I'm afraid to lose money. It's because I'm trying to keep my love for the sport. If I start betting on fucking boxing and I start winning, my love for the sport won't be pure anymore. It's all be about
what I'm saying is, people that come on here on your live and ask you for your opinions is because they want to know your opinion before they go, ask me.
I tell everybody, make your own.
Right, I know that.
Don't come to me because then if you go to the casino and you bet your fucking rent on what I told you and you lose, I don't want to be. I don't say, well, BT, you told me to bet on this guy. Yeah. Oh my god.
So don't take it just your opinion.
Just my opinion.
I mean, last night that girl was going to bet you some money. You said no.
God.
They should probably tell you I'll give you some hamburger.
I said no. I'm not betting with you on anything.
I bet she was hot looking, good looking. You said I'll bet you on a date though.
Yeah, I'll take you on a date if I win.
It was one of those 3 girls you sat with, the ring girls.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With you.
No, that would have been all right.
Yeah. She said, how about you hamburger? I said, geez, she can't take no one answer.
Have you interviewed Angelo's father, Miguel? No, I haven't. But, Miguel's an interesting person. Yeah, he's done like one interview, and he in the boxing world, he's known as a very quiet man. But behind closed doors, Miguel is the most outgoing person in the world. Miguel, you better not bring your girlfriend around Miguel Leo. Miguel Leo will take your bitch, man. Miguel's a straight OG, real Mexican. I mean, the guy's a beast. I love Miguel. Yeah. But he's not really much for the camera. I'm gonna ask him to go to Vegas if I can get an interview with him because Miguel Leo, Angelo's father, is one of the smartest trainers I've ever seen. Probably one of the top 5 best trainers I've ever seen in the gym. And I've seen some great, man. I've been in the gym I've seen some great trainers work in these gyms, but he's right up there. Most of y'all might not know this about Miguel, but he actually helped work with Giovanni Segura early in Giovanni Segura's career. He told Freddie. Apparently, there was this incident at Wildcard Gym where I never told you this story, but the Benavidez brothers, right? Jose Benavidez and Dave Benavidez. They were both young and nobody knew who the fuck they were, right? Mm-hmm. And this back when Dave Benavidez was fat. He was nobody in boxing.
Yeah.
Jose was a prospect. Jose was getting all the hype, right? And Miguel told Freddie in the whole Wildcard Gym, Dave is gonna be the better one for the brothers before Dave became anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, and he's worked a lot with fighters on the low, behind the scenes, and influenced a lot of fighters. But he's just not like he's not the type to brag in the media. So the only people only know Miguel for obviously his son. But look what he did with his son. His son was his son. He did what most trainers can't do. He took his son Angelo. By the way, if you didn't hear already, for the Plant Canelo live fight reaction, we're gonna have Angelo Leo with me on the live. I asked him if he wanted to be part of it again, like he was for the Josh Taylor Ramirez live, and he said yes. He said he's down for it. So it is what it is, man.
Angelo Leo
Angelo Leo was the first fighter.
The first champion from the state.
No, not the first, like the seventh.
But
First
still.
in years.
Yeah.
First in years.
So,
but look,
respect.
Miguel did something with Angelo that most trainers don't do. He took a fighter from birth, from the ground up, from the day he first threw his first punch in the boxing gym, all the way to the world title. So that lets you know that he's a good trainer.
He's humble.
He's just a humble trainer.
Yeah.
So
Doesn't need to be in front of the camera to know what he can do.
says BT gotta convince me, man. I like Plant, but I think he's getting cooked. No, that's not happening. He might lose, but he's not gonna get cooked. Anybody who wants to know who I'm aiming for, Canelo Plant, I've made it as obvious. I've made it so obvious that people think I'm joking when I say this. Like I'm being dead serious when I tell you who I'm picking, and I'm picking Caleb Plant UD, and it has nothing to do with hatred for Canelo Alvarez, because if that were the case, I would have picked against him at some point this year against one of these so-called champions that he's been fighting, like Saunders or Canelo Smith, and I didn't pick Canelo against Saunders against Canelo, even though I don't like Canelo and I want someone to beat him. I damn sure didn't pick him against Canelo Smith.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I picked against Canelo since the second Golovkin.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. Why do you think Plant is going to win? You have to look out for the breakdown and prediction video. You know, I just think I'll give you a little. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit, man. I'll tell you just a little bit, right? So generally speaking, when you have a smaller fighter and a bigger fighter, the smaller fighter normally is the more active fighter, and he's the fighter that has high punch output, and he's normally the faster fighter. But this is one of those rare cases where that's not the case. The smaller fighter isn't going to be the more active fighter. The smaller fighter isn't going to be the more a faster fighter. Canelo has those two things going against him. Now, obviously, Canelo's an experienced fighter. He's seen every style in the world. But there are some things that Caleb Plant is going to present to him that people are overlooking. I'm just going to leave it at that. When the prediction video comes out, because this prediction video / breakdown is probably going to be like 45 minutes. It's going to be like long.
Wow.
Because people think I'm just playing around when I say this.
Yeah.
In your old videos, when you pick, in your old videos, who did you pick when it comes to Plant and Benavidez? It's funny you asked me that because I was actually just watching a video that I did last year about Dave Benavidez when he called Caleb Plant the weakest champion at 168. In that video, I said that I was leaning slightly towards Benavidez. In the beginning of the video, I said I was leaning slightly towards Benavidez, but then at the end, I picked Plant. I said Plant. I think Plant's going to give him a lot of problems. I think Plant just has the wrong style for Benavidez. Benavidez like a high guard. Benavidez hasn't really. I can't really think of any fighters Benavidez has beat or broken down that you could classify as boxers, athletic, like Caleb boxers. I can't think of one. So for that reason, I picked Plant against Benavidez. And on top of that, I'm picking Plant even more now that I know more that oh man. See, the thing is, I know this man's telling the truth because he did it with Fury. He said if Plant beats Canelo, I will donate $50. No way he's winning. Now he's a man of his word.
Yeah, I know.
The minute Fury knocked out Wilder,
Save the money.
that cash app floated right in.
Thank you so
So,
much, man.
I know he's telling the truth, but
Johnny's take on that. Who's Johnny got on that?
I'm going to Plant.
Yeah.
He says, why do smart people in boxing think Canelo's going to kill Plant like Bradley and Bomac and you respect them? The reason most people think Canelo's going to kill Plant because it all comes down to the old adage of you're only as good as your last fight. So Canelo's last fight, he broke Billy Joe Saunders' eye socket. Caleb Plant's last fight, he won, but he didn't look spectacular against Caleb. And there were some moments that you could, if you didn't watch the fight, there's like 3 moments from Caleb Truax where you can say, if Canelo lands that shot, you know what's going to happen. So that's what it is. People making the cardinal sin of thinking that resumes wins fights and thinking that a fighter's last performance is going to dictate what happens in the next fight, and that's not how it goes.
Garcia, prime example. He got a great resume.
Yeah, exactly. Look at Mike Garcia. He fought
better man. You lost a lot of money.
He fought Sandier Martin, we knew. Listen, I cover boxing religiously.
Yeah.
I know Sandier Martin's name from like. But I look at the rankings.
Right.
I know that about him because I see his name all the time. But I don't know shit about Sandier Martin.
Right.
You know, they didn't know about Sandier Martin. But guess what? They don't know.
Yeah.
They show. They don't know.
So you just never know.
Let me see. She only plant fight I saw was against the fitness instructor. That was his best. That was like one of his best performances. So he beat the shit out of Mike Lee. Listen, man, I've been listen. A lot of people who know that I don't like Canelo are just, oh well, you're just gonna say Caleb Plant sucks when he loses, or if he loses, and you're not gonna give Canelo credit, and you don't even like Caleb Plant. You're just hyping him up because of Canelo, and that's not even true because I saw Caleb Plant in person. I went to his 12th professional fight in person when he fought Carlos Galvan and he stopped him with a body shot. I was there. Hard Rock Casino, Hollywood, Florida. Check it on BoxRec. You know, and there's videos of me in 2016 where I was talking about how these guys like Porky Medina and Dominic Wade didn't want to fight Caleb Plant. Those guys, Porky Medina eventually fought Caleb Plant, but Dominic Wade and James Gill, these guys didn't want no smoke with Caleb Plant back then, and they didn't take the fights. And I was saying back then, like when he had like 13, 14 fights, that PBC, Al Heyman, and all parties involved, they didn't put more money behind Plant because he's probably one of the best prospects they have in their stable. And they did. He's been world champion, and that's what it is. So it has nothing to do with Canelo. It has nothing to do with me gassing up Plant. I've always been behind Plant. There's another video I made. I can't remember which one it was, but I said in the video, I said if Caleb Plant puts all of his skills together with his mentality, his confidence, and the way he fights, I feel like he could be the kind of fighter that reigns for a good amount of time boxing. So we'll see how it goes. All these fan bases like Wilder and Mike Garcia have lost, man. I think boxing gave us the best wins. I think Canelo wins. Boxing rewarded us with Wilder. Why would it reward us with Canelo? Why would it reward? You're saying Canelo's gonna win? I think Canelo wins boxing. Hey, so far it's been amazing. I mean, Mike Garcia lost, so that's amazing. Wilder lost, which has been that's the gift that keeps on giving. Wilder losing, I haven't heard nothing from the LDBC. You know, you can just troll the shit out of them, and it don't even matter. So if Canelo loses, it'll just be at the trifecta. It'll be it's been a great year in boxing. But listen, I have him as a slight favorite. He should be the favorite. He's a more experienced fighter. But in this fight, I just think style-wise, this fight is all. The only way I really feel this fight can go in his favor is if Caleb Plant loses stamina, which is a possibility because Caleb Plant isn't known for his great stamina. But at the same time, he showed in the Usyk fight, even when he was getting hurt, that he could survive, and he knows how to fight when the going gets tough. So I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Johnny says, I stayed at the Hard Rock in Atlanta with my boy Detroit one time when we were 17. Oh boy, was that a blast. I'm sure of it. Now, this is a great point. And this is probably the number one thing. This is the number one reason. This is actually the number one reason why I favor Canelo, and this is the number one reason why I'm worried about Plant, even though I'm picking him to win. He says, consider the activity Canelo has. Plant hasn't been active. I think Russ will play. And he's got a point. Canelo has been one of the most active fighters in boxing. Canelo Alvarez has been more active than some of these prospects. He fought Smith in December. He fought Yildirim in, February? He fought Joe in May. And he's fighting Plant in September. That's 4 fights in less than a year's time. So, he's definitely going to be sharp. He's a gym rat. Caleb hasn't fought in a year, so that could play a role. But I think the thing that's going to benefit Plant is that Canelo's a slow starter. I don't think Canelo's going to press him early. I think Canelo will take the first 2 or 3 rounds to try to gather in front of him with Plant, and then he'll go from there. So I think Plant's going to have a couple of rounds to work some ring rust off. It's crazy that Canelo unified all the belts and Plant after nothing, but says he wanted to be undisputed. Well, to be fair, Canelo was the free agent, and he didn't pick Plant first. He picked Plant last. Now, why did he pick Plant last? I'm gonna tell you guys why he picked Plant last, and it's not because he was the easiest fight. It was because he was the hardest fight. Right. So, but yeah, obviously, when Plant played for quite some time now. He wanted the Benavidez fight, But Samson Lukowicz didn't want the fight. You can go check the article. There's an article from 2020 in USA Today where literally Samson Lukowicz said that we're not ready for that fight. We need more time. But then the narrative has been, oh, well, Caleb Plant's a pussy. He's ducking Dave Benavidez because Dave Benavidez goes to the media and says, yeah, I want to fight all these guys, man. I want to fight guys. And, Caleb Plant's fucking pussy. You know how he sounds like. I'm not really a gambler, man. Gambling is an addiction, so why should it corrupt you in the sport you already think is corrupt? Exactly. Y'all already saw when I damn near fucking left boxing. I know how corrupt boxing is, and it depressed the fuck out of me to where I wanted to leave the sport. And y'all want me to and go on. Listen, I'm not gonna name no names. Hopefully he's not watching right now, but I got a really good friend of mine who started off gambling, won a couple of bets, and this guy has turned into a gambling addict over the last year and a half. So I know what gambling does, people. That's why I stay away from it. It'll have you bet your rent money. That says it all. Megadon Lawn 779. He put the needle with the stake.
I see that.
Plant is like Wilder making excuses before he lost. I hear him cry about Canelo using PD. That's the wrong mentality to win. No, see, you're wrong. You're wrong. Wilder made excuses after he lost to Tyson Fury. He made excuses and started saying that as a result of something that happened. Caleb Plant is doing this before. It's all gamesmanship. With this, it's all. If you think this is listen, if you think you made an excuse, you're out your damn mind. Because if there's a fighter in boxing that hasn't made any excuses in his life, it's Caleb Plant. This guy had every reason to say "woe is me" and not go to the gym and say, "Oh, my daughter died." And these guys don't want to fight me because there were some guys early in his career. These guys don't want to fight me. My daughter died. I come from Tennessee. This, that, and the third. He could have did all that and not went to the gym and stopped training hard and folded up, and he didn't. So you can't say that. Caleb Plant is just calling out what, because if you guys pay attention to these Canelo press conferences, don't take my word. Don't take my word for it. Go watch the Usyk press conference. Go watch the Smith press conference. Go watch most of these Canelo press conferences. They're all just happy to be there. He's a great fighter, and I'm just happy to share the ring with him. He's a legend of the sport. Like Caleb Plant it's a declaration. All that was a declaration of war. A declaration of war, basically saying that, hey, I'm not folding for you. I'm not fucking gonna be like these other guys. Yeah. That's all it is. That's all it is. And he's just trying to get into Canelo's head. That's all it is. Yeah. If you think it's excuses, this isn't a guy that makes excuses. He called facts. Caleb Plant is not a guy that makes excuses because, like I said, if you look at his life, I know most fighters come from top backgrounds and gone through things, but like I told a lot of Canelo fans, most of these fighters' children are still alive, and I guarantee you, most fighters, their children would have passed away in the middle of their career while they're trying to build their career. They're gonna fucking fold. Most fighters do. And Caleb Plant is calling out facts on Canelo. He did get caught for this. He did get caught for that. Whether he want to admit it or not, facts. Yeah. And that's what bothered Canelo. She says, "I can't gamble. I have no money to begin with." I'm listening. The same boat. We're in the same boat, champ. We don't got no money to do that. Yeah, and Johnny's right. He was happy that Plant didn't go up there and kiss his ass like most of these motherfuckers be doing. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for once, a Canelo fight week is going to be exciting, and we don't got to hear about, he's a great, like Canelo said, he's a great fight. I'm just happy to share a ring with him. He said, "Hey, you know what difference between you and him? You a fat pig." I love that. Gambling is a very addictive problem. The problem is I grew up with a bunch of old Italians. I was already. What happened, Dad? Dad? Yeah. Going to sleep? Not yet. Okay. Yeah, the problem is I grew up with a bunch of old Italians. I was already playing poker when I was 12. Yeah, see. So you grew up in that environment. But for me, I've seen what it does to people. And yeah, man, gambling, it can destroy someone's life. We'll see. We won't see. We won't see. There will be no gambling for me. I don't care how many people say, "Oh, you betting on Plant? Let's bet something." Because for this fight, ever since I've been saying I'm picking Plant, everyone's like, "You picking Plant? Let's bet something." It's been like that on Facebook. It's been like that on Instagram. It's been like that on YouTube. It's been fucking annoying, bro. It's like, watch the fucking fight. Don't worry about my money. My money's tucked in nice places. Don't worry about what BT got going on. You know, a wise man once told me, and I'm going to tell anybody out there that wants to bet money on boxing, bet money with me. Don't worry about my money. You mind the business that pays you. Mind the business that pays you. Let's see, my understanding is right when Canelo was cleared of drugs to a non-significant amount. Also, the hair follicle test was cleared, which goes back 6 months, and those are also facts, my friend. Yeah, I know about the hair follicle. But do you know about the fact that the WBC raised the threshold to accommodate Canelo Alvarez? You know that fact? How about that one? Because there was no threshold before, but now all of a sudden, because a Mexican fighter tested positive that they like and makes money for them, they want to change the rules. You know, there's plenty of facts with Canelo's career that people want to ignore. But yeah, I give him his credit. He took the hair follicle test. Valdez wouldn't even do it.
But
I'm gonna say this.
When you're calm, you're trying to protect.
No. He's making his point.
Yeah, but he's saying it's fact. When he's saying if you're gonna call this, you call that, because you don't like what you're hearing from.
But look, the fact of the matter is, it did happen, and it's something that Caleb Plant can use against Canelo Alvarez in trash talking, in getting his head psychologically. And look, if you guys haven't really studied Caleb Plant, listen. Homework assignment for everybody out there. I got a homework assignment for everybody out there, whether you're picking Plant or Canelo or not. I want y'all to go to every single Caleb Plant press conference. Go to all of them. Go to the Mike Lee press conference, Usyk T, Porky Medina. Go to as many press conferences as you can find of Caleb Plant on YouTube, and you will understand that this guy he's a master of psychological warfare. He knows everything about his opponents. He knows if you open a business and it failed, he knows about it. If you did some fucked up shit, he knows about it. If you missed weight in the past, he knows everything about you. He uses it during the fight week to get the psychological edges on his opponents. So all it is gamesmanship. If
that fight week, that fight week, he said he can't call out another thing. You could say that I said motherfucker, and the Mexicans hate that, but you got a video in Spanish. Telling somebody else, go.
Do you know? You see what Canelo said in the interview with ESPN, right? He said, "Yeah, I say motherfucker, I take my risk."
No, basically what I'm getting at. So he got underneath Canelo's skin by saying all that shit because the truth. You're saying here you want to accuse me when I wasn't disrespecting your mother, but then you can go on another channel in Spanish and tell somebody to fuck yourself.
Yeah. Now Pyro makes a great comment here. He says, "Caleb Plant is a warrior, man. He's a PBC fighter that's willing to make the big fights. He knows what he's worth. He has to give Canelo everything in the negotiation. That's what he has to do." And look, to be fair, Caleb Smith, I give him credit because Caleb Plant, he didn't do the Caleb Smith take the fight, 5.5 weeks, 6 weeks notice. No, he was consistent from the first time Canelo ever came up as an opponent. He said, 8-week camp. You give me that 8-week camp, you give me what I'm worth. And he got what he was worth, and he actually was able to in some ways get a mental victory in the negotiation. So like this fight this fight didn't start at the press conference, and it's not going to start. Remember this fight started at the negotiating table because Canelo Alvarez strong arms all of his opponents at the negotiating table.
I'm surprised he didn't put the dehydration clause.
See, do you think Plant being at his first big fight will affect him? No. Because it's not Caleb Plant's first big fight. He's been fighting on Fox and all these networks for a long time. He's been on Team USA fighting in amateur tournaments all over the world. He was a great kickboxer fighting in tournaments all over the world. Caleb Plant's been fighting in fights. So I don't think none of that will affect him. He's a fighter that was when God was crafting Caleb Plant in the womb, and he was crafting that mind of his. Some fighters are just born to fight under the lights, and he was one of those fighters that I truthfully believe, just like Canelo as well. Canelo was a fighter born to fight under the lights, and Caleb Plant was a fighter born to fight under the lights. And I think win, lose, or draw, I think this will be the toughest fight for Canelo at 168, and it'll be the most exciting fight that Canelo has at 168. It's already been the most exciting build-up Canelo's had maybe ever. So the biggest puncher Plant fought was Tyrone Brunson, but he was a 54-pounder. Well, to be fair, was he 54 pounds? I think he might be wrong on that one because Tyrone Brunson, was he 54? I'm gonna fact check you on that one. But Tyrone Brunson, he was kind of like the Edgar Berlanga. He was the black Edgar Berlanga before Edgar Berlanga. Tyrone Brunson. You know about Tyrone Brunson? He holds the record. He holds a boxing record. He actually holds the record for the most first-round knockouts to start a career. Okay. He had 20 straight first-round knockouts. 20.
I think Usyk was a tougher for me.
And you're right. I stand corrected. You're right. He was a 54 pounder, and Caleb Plant fought him at a 162-pound catchweight. So he fought him at the middleweight limit, or slightly above the middleweight limit. But to be fair, though, Tyrone Brunson was getting fucked up by everybody before Caleb Plant fought him. He fought Hogan. Like, he had lost 3 fights straight to names that we all know, that I know. He got knocked out against DeCarlo Perez. DeCarlo Perez was one of these guys that fought on Showbox. Rob Brent fucked him up. We never heard from him again. He lost to him. He lost to Harrison, got knocked out in the first round, and he lost to Dennis Hogan. So he was already on a losing streak before he fought Plant. But my thing is this. I disagree with that. I think Usyk is definitely the harder puncher than him.
Knockouts or something to that fight with Usyk.
Yeah.
Power.
Canelo was going to body Plant. Smith was the toughest fight. Oh, my God. Bro, stop it. Caleb Smith was the easiest fight he could fight of the champions in 68. I was saying this a month and a half before the fight even happened, and people were like, no, resume, 68, piece of paper. I don't give a fuck about this piece of paper. He fought the bootleg Canelo from England, John Ryder, the bootleg corner store English version of Canelo, John Ryder, and he lost to him before he fought Canelo. So I already knew it wasn't Canelo. It was the easiest fight. He was tailor-made for Canelo because even though he's 6'3", everybody's so quick to talk about how he's 6'3", his height. But if you go watch his fights before Canelo, he didn't fight a big man. He didn't fight like he's 6'3". It wasn't until just recently when he got Buddy McGirt.
Yep.
His last fight was his first fight with Lennon Castillo, where now he's starting to fight like a guy who's 6'3". Now he's starting to fight. So no, you're wrong. Caleb Smith was the weakest champion at 68. He was the easiest stylistic advantage for Canelo. He's slow-footed. He gives up his size, and he didn't think he could win the fight. It was the trifecta of what is an easy world title fight for Canelo Alvarez. Now you're saying Benavidez is the only real challenge at 168 for Canelo. I want you to, as best as you can, because nobody ever says why. Everybody says he just is. Why is he the toughest challenge for Canelo? Because I think Canelo Alvarez. I'm telling anybody who will listen, Canelo Alvarez will put David Benavidez in a fucking body bag if they fight. He will ruin that man's career.
He's gonna come forward. He's gonna fight.
But he also mentioned Beterbiev. Now the only fight that I think is easier than Benavidez is Beterbiev. Beterbiev's chinny. He's inactive. He's old. He's got brittle. He punches hard, but his hands aren't what they used to be. I'm surprised Canelo hasn't fought Beterbiev. I think Canelo beat Beterbiev. I think he beats Benavidez.
He don't beat Benavidez.
Benavidez is a layup.
He will not beat Benavidez, brother. Have you watched Benavidez fight?
I have. That's why I'm talking how I'm talking.
If Canelo comes like that, if he's gonna scrap with Benavidez, he got it wrong, brother. Benavidez is the fucking taller. He got the long reach, and
he's taller. He doesn't move. He fights in a high guard. Canelo's gonna kind of punch the fuck out of him if they fight. I'm telling you
right now. Have you watched Benavidez fight?
Yes, more than you. That's what I'm telling you.
No, Benavidez put a test on Canelo. I'm serious. Canelo comes forward and he throws and he does this and he does that. He will not stop a young. No. There's a reason he hasn't fought him yet. There's a reason he hasn't fought Boo Boo and all these other. Canelo knows who to pick. Ryan Olsen knows who to pick. And there's a reason why he hasn't.
Yeah, good point. Reynoso is Eddie.
Right.
Reynoso is Canelo's manager and promoter.
Right.
Not promoter, manager and trainer.
I told you that.
So he's the one picking the fights.
Right. I just said Canelo is carefully picking his opponents. There's a reason why he hasn't fought this fight. Benavidez coke and all this shit. And he lost a belt. He still could fight him. He has that choice to fight him. You know why he's not fighting him? The same reason he doesn't want to fight Boo. Yeah. If he fights Benavidez is gonna fucking beat the shit out of him.
Benavidez. You're the same guy who's picking Usyk to beat Benavidez. What are you talking about?
I'm telling you right now. Benavidez will beat the fuck out of
He better just get the Jose Usyk.
I'm trying to tell you right now.
He better just give
He
the
will
Jose.
beat the fuck out of Canelo.
He might even get the chance.
His father and pop's shit.
He better just get the Jose Usyk, who, by the way, this guy's a hypocrite. He's talking about Benavidez being Canelo. He picking Usyk. He's picking Jose Usyk to beat Canelo or to beat Benavidez.
Benavidez will beat the shit out of Canelo. Simple as that.
Would he beat the shit out of Plant?
Benavidez will beat the shit out of Canelo.
Diego Pacheco will beat the shit out of Benavidez in about a year and a half time.
Not now, though.
No,
he's talking about now.
Well, about a year and a half, Benavidez wouldn't have done shit. So when he gets there,
Benavidez, no, people don't want to fight with him for a reason, brother. He's called out people too. Nobody wants to fight.
Who's talking to him? Except Charles. Charles ducking him, but
motherfucking Charles talk shit.
is Plant ducking him?
No, Plant he's gonna do. We gonna do with Wade Stern. Plant wants to fight him, but before Canelo, Canelo's done.
Now you just he gave me an explanation. He says his styles. He's not afraid to punch with them. He'll push Canelo. I still got Canelo though. That attribute is why I think he's gonna get killed badly. Benavidez isn't the most durable fighter. We've seen Ronald Gavril drop him. We've seen guys, take him to some deep dark places in his career that are not Canelo quality. My problem with Benavidez, I think he's got great hand speed, but I think the fact that he opens up so much and that he fights in a high guard a lot, it's gonna open up that liver up for Canelo a lot. And Canelo is a master punching. So I don't see that fight ending any way than Canelo putting him in a body bag and ruining his career. They gotta keep him away from Canelo.
I'll leave it alone.
No, well, it is what it is. Hyro says it's good to see BT that BWF is a chinny fighter, man. Marcus Brown is a better opponent than Adam Dienis. Thanks.
Why doesn't Canelo fight Bivol? That's what I want.
Now I'm glad you brought that up because people brought up Bivol. A couple people brought up Bivol. But remember, him and his team. I said it. Remember? Do you guys remember? I want to see who had a long memory and who just.
You called me.
It follows tablets. Do you guys remember when the initial Canelo plant negotiations broke down, and then all this talk started of Canelo fighting Bivol?
Yeah.
And I told you guys, I said, look, don't believe it. It's bullshit. He's not gonna fight Bivol. He's just using it as a negotiation tactic to get whatever he wants from Plant. Sure enough, like a week later. I got made. He's not fighting Bivol.
Bill will destroy him.
I think it'd be a good time. But honestly, for Canelo, if he was fighting Bivol, I think now would be a good time to do it because Bivol's been inactive. Be a good fight. I want to see Bivol on stage too. Bivol's a fantastic fighter. Now, Jeffrey wants to know who does Pops have for Plant versus Canelo?
I got Plant. I think Plant. It's the same thing that Boo Boo on it. I go back to the Mayweather fight, even though it's old. I go back to the Mayweather fight, the Canelo fight. He couldn't handle the movement with Mayweather, even though Boo Boo Andre and Canelo. Even though Boo Boo Andre Plant is not on for Floyd Mayweather, but just the full movement and the speed that he got and all that both Boo Boo Andre and Plant have, it's going to cause problems for Canelo.
Yeah, Ira makes a great point. Says, man, a year ago you thought Romero and Gulo was a tough fight for Benavidez. I thought it was. I thought it was be tougher than it turned out to be because Angulo had a good win. I see. That's an example of me using a past fight. Remember, you use a past fight to make the current fight bigger than what it actually is.
Right.
Now, when Angulo had beat Anthony Sims Jr., who was supposedly supposed to be the next at 168. Right. And I'm like, okay, well, Angulo, he got a reputation here in South Florida for being tough in sparring and then tough in his fights. I thought he was gonna win like at least 3 rounds, 2-3 rounds against Benavidez.
Shit.
He says never get close with fighters like Rosario. Yeah, man. And I was spot on. Absolutely, I was exact. Because look, it was so easy to see through the bullshit with Bivol and Canelo because if Canelo really thought he could beat Bivol or BWF, which I don't understand why he didn't fight. BWF is such a great matchup for him. He'll beat the shit out of BWF. But like Bivol, he could have fought these guys when he beat Kovalev. And before we could even get before we could even get it out of our mouths to plead for these fights, he vacated the belt and moved back down. So
that's crazy in its own way. Like I don't know how Ray Reynoso looks at his opponents. Seriously, I don't mind matchmaking, but whatever he does.
Hyro says people can't explain why Benavidez will be Plant. They're just picking him because he's big and he's a Mexican warrior. Honestly, I don't want to say that, but that's pretty much what it seems like. I feel like they're just picking Benavidez because he's Mexican.
When he fights Plant?
Canelo Plant, like
Benavidez is a tough customer, brother.
He's good. Yes. You want me to name which fight I've seen?
You'll stand right there and he'll throw down.
He's gonna get fucking knocked out.
He'll throw down. I don't see that happening.
His career will get short in about 5 or 6 years if he fights Canelo.
Yeah, if he goes back on coke and shit.
No.
He's not gonna beat
coke, no coke,
he's not gonna
in shape, out shape. He is not beating Canelo. I'm adamant.
Okay, then why is Canelo fighting him?
Why?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have to.
Because he don't want to get his ass whooped, that's why.
He doesn't have to right now. The landscape changed.
He doesn't get his ass whooped.
Got no belt. Nobody told him to put powder in his nose.
Andre got a belt and Canelo fought him.
That's different. He's boring. This guy is.
Yeah, no.
He says, I have no idea why people bring up Canelo's fights from 8 years ago. Laura, Mayweather, Trout. He's not the same dude. He is the same dude. He's literally almost the same fighter. He looks different. He looks different because he's picking styles that make him look different. Right. But how many guys have he fought? Apart, I know Saunders was a fighter that was a mover, but how many guys has he fought since Floyd that were movers? Like that? It's very few and far between. So yeah, if you was fighting guys like that consistently, anytime it comes down to fight a guy like that, it's an issue. You know, it was hard to get this fucking Plant fight made. He will never fight Demetrius Boo Andre.
He's always got something to say, but I'm saying Canelo,
he's the same. He's a more complete fighter. He's matured as far as his patience. He's matured as far as his composure in the pocket, but his tendencies are the same. Yeah, his tendencies are the exact same.
He'll tell you he's a more complete fighter. That's what he'll tell you.
I'm like, oh, he's a more complete fighter. How do we know that? Fucking Smith, Fielding, Yildirim. Exactly. I give him credit for Saunders. Saunders is a good win. Saunders in the Saunders fight, he showed his patience. He showed some maturation as a pro. So that's the win. People don't even use that win. The win. The Canelo fans can't even fucking argue for the fighter properly. Like they use these fighters who are tailor made for them. Yeah. But then the guys like Trout, Saunders, these guys, they don't talk about those fights enough.
Well, he's gonna be tested coming November 9th.
Yeah, 6. I can't wait. But look, that live fight reaction is going to be historic because a lot of people I know Canelo's fans hate me.
Even here, they're good friends.
Even people that like in South Florida that like Canelo, the trainers and coaches are like, man.
That's how we go sit to argue with them.
They start arguing about that
fight. We
fight.
were just last night at the local, and the first thing I want to say, are you serious about the fight? Are you serious you go with Kaplan? Right? The guys were telling you, are you serious with Kaplan? What are you telling, brother?
Huh?
When they told you that, are you serious? Are you just faking it for your channel? Or
am I faking it? I told him, look, I don't. Y'all know. I told him, look, I don't know if y'all just met me. Y'all know me for years.
I just don't say things.
Everything I say, I mean. Yeah. So whether it's wrong or right, whether it wants to be right, everything that comes out of my mouth, I really mean. So if I'm telling you I'm picking Caleb Plant, that's not me saying it for shock value. That's not me saying it. Truthfully, look, I don't get a lot like people think, oh, you're taking it for views. I don't get a lot of views picking Caleb Plant. I would actually get more. I would get more views. Look. If I
care about the views,
cared about views, right? Like some people have suggested, right? I would sit here and say, oh, well, Canelo Alvarez, he just has the best resume, better than any Mexican fighter ever. Nobody in boxing has his resume. I mean, Caleb Plant, who has he fought? What has he done to Canelo? If I started saying all that bullshit that people say in the comments, I guarantee you I'll get more views. Yeah, because I just call it how I see it. It is what it is.
At the end of the day, you got your own opinion whether you like it or not. We have our opinion whether we like it or not. And the bottom line is, when it comes to fight night, we'll find out. That's it.
If he bodies Plant, will that myth of he struggled with movers be put to rest?
No, he's got to fight Boo Andre.
It will. I think it'll always be there. But I would say for me, I can't speak for my father, but I would say for me, if he bodies Caleb Plant the way people say he is, I would definitely have to say that he has matured as a fighter. I'll have to say that, I was wrong, that maybe, okay, you guys were right, and the narratives of him maturing as a fighter is true.
As he's saying,
but to be fair, to be fair though, we saw him struggle with the southpaw. Even though he beat Saunders, he struggled with the southpaw movement in Saunders. He beat Trout, but he had some struggles in that fight. So even Boo Andre is still gonna be there. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and act like Boo Andre isn't there. He's still there. He's still a fight that I want to see. He's actually, I'm excited for the Plant fight, but the fight, you guys, for those of you who are really watching the fight, I've always wanted to see has Andre versus Canelo. So,
I think
I'll give him his credit. But I'm still gonna say, I'm still gonna say.
And the bottom line is the fact that this guy's been chasing him for 7 years, and he's used every excuse in the book not to fight this guy or whatever the reason may be. Like, how you go on live TV? And you're supposed to be the king of boxing, the face of boxing. And the only fucking explanation you can give is he's boring.
Yeah.
He's boring.
He fight with anybody.
I fight anybody, but he's boring. You don't fight nobody. Yeah.
Plant has a lot of weaknesses. Go to Mayweather channel. Well, Canelo has a lot of weaknesses. You say Plant, like what is Canelo is Canelo all of a sudden Floyd Mayweather Jr.? He's this virtuoso, great. Like he ain't listen. He's a creme de la creme, elite class, A-level fighter. Definitely can't refute that. experience.
You gotta give him respect.
But to sit here and act like he's like Floyd Mayweather or like some sort of like
fighting all these guys.
Tyson Fury-esque fighter where no, absolutely not. He's got weaknesses too, and that's why this fight's so interesting. Because the things that Plant well, Canelo has struggled with in the past, and the things that Plant does well that Canelo struggled with, he struggled with guys that do those same things in smaller weight classes. Now he's got a bigger guy doing those same things. So doesn't mean size doesn't mean that he's gonna beat Canelo, but size with the attributes that Plant has makes the fight interesting.
How he reached the height,
the creativity, the combinations.
when he moves around the ring, you gotta look at all that shit. Canelo's just a stationary motherfucker that comes forward, a pressure fighter. That if he gets you in the corner, he's gonna go right to the liver, go to the body, come back out.
We'll see what happens, man. We'll see.
Yeah,
well, listen, it's gonna be a historical live. Hyro says that for that live, we're gonna need Alex for that live. Need Alex on the live. Yeah. I'm gonna have Angelo Leo on the live as well. So it's gonna be a crazy live. It's gonna be a crazy live for sure. But listen, on that note, guys, I've been live for 2.5 hours. He has to go to sleep.
Medication.
I've got work to do. As far as I gotta edit some videos and stuff, but you guys take care of yourselves.
Thanks for being here.
We'll probably be live.
We don't know what you did this one.
I have no clue when we live. I mean, technically, it is Monday, so you can count this as a Monday live.
Yeah.
We talked about AJ earlier at Raptors Champ, so go to the beginning of the beginning of the live and just go watch.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in and talking with us. I had a lot of fun. I'll be live probably, if not tomorrow or today, I should say, because it's Monday now.
Yeah.
I'm on Tuesday. So if you don't see a live tomorrow night or tonight, expect one on Tuesday. And just stay tuned for all the content. Keep supporting the channel.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for everything. And live this weekend against for the Jamel Herring, Shakur Stevenson fight.
That's a good card too, right? It's a good card. Who else fighting on that?
Xander Zayas, Nico Ali Walsh. Couple guys.
All right.
So it is what it is. But you guys take care of yourself. God bless. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just kidding Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.